Sandra all the time is here with the cold hard truth. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. So tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, to call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth-telling, more problem-solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you.
Silent.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, it's Thursday, right?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Tomorrow's Friday.
Confuse me. I'm already confused enough.
Tomorrow's Friday. What are you talking about?
I know. For this week, yes.
That's right. And next week.
Mm-hmm.
And next week.
2-for-1
Yeah.
special with Easter.
Wonderful.
Take it.
2 short work weeks
Absolutely wonderful.
on holiday.
Yay. Yeah, I mean, we need to start buying into this 4-day work week. I heard it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Big news. I have some important news for you. Interesting news.
It's Blake and Aaron's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
K-Man's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Let's start with Sandy. I'm sure you've got some stories. A story.
Yes. Good morning, Blake and Aaron, and good morning to all of your. Good morning to all of your KISS 106.1 FM listeners. So, wow. Yesterday was quite an interesting day in terms of traffic and road accidents. There was
terrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. So our sources revealed, this is an eyewitness who saw what happened. He was so shocked. He called us immediately, said that it looked like 2 cars were actually racing and racing down the Linford Pearson Highway. They actually ran into 2 workers.
Wow.
Who were on the side.
No.
Who were on the side of the road.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I know they have injuries, but I haven't heard how extensive their injuries are this morning. But yeah, this was horrific. And everybody was shocked that, anybody would be speeding in the middle of the afternoon down a very busy highway.
Every morning, every hour of the day.
Linford Pearson right there, by the way, is 25 miles per hour.
Right.
And it's a construction zone.
Yeah.
Whoever it was injured a construction worker.
Yes.
And then it affected practically the entire island because of this stupid thing that they did yesterday.
Yeah, I heard that traffic all the way to Cayman Bay was backed up.
They funneled all of the East End traffic down Old Crew Road. The entire Linford Pearson was shut down.
Or South Sound.
Or South Sound, right.
Because
But they funneled it into one lane, that one lane Old Crew Road. all the way up past Kings, and then it's whoever this person is should pay restitution to everybody that was stuck in traffic yesterday because of this idiot or idiots.
Yep.
Well, so
it was.
I only saw the one car that ended up crashing afterwards, but what happened to the other car that was racing?
That's a very good question. They may not have crashed at all and probably kept going. So some CCTV footage definitely needs to be pulled this morning.
Yes.
So that we can see exactly what's going on. Yeah, pretty crazy. All right.
Justice for everybody.
Yeah. So in other news, a man who was jailed for threatening his wife, he received a 6.5-year sentence, which I was a bit surprised at. But anyway, yes, he threatened to kill his ex-wife if she did not give him his papers to be able to stay in the Cayman Islands. Miko Gooden is actually appealing his case. And it says that he was reportedly further threatened his wife after he was locked up awaiting trial. So he was sentenced last year by Magistrate Vanessa Allard to 5 years, and then she added 18 months because of aggravating factors. And so now his attorney, Keith Myers, says the sentence was excessive and that some factors that the magistrate considered as aggravating should not have been deemed so.
Yeah, however, this woman is going to have in the back of her mind this date and always have a date to where she's going to feel unsafe again.
Yep. So we'll see. He's supposed to basically, he told her that, he needed to give her papers, or he would. This is a whole new version of when you talk about marriages of convenience, that he was actually going to do her harm if he did not get his papers, and it'd be easy for him to jump on a boat from Jamaica to come back to find her.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. People need to be careful. In other court news, Kirk Donald, the owner of Royale Medical, he pled guilty yesterday to owing some of his staff almost $100,000 in pay arrears. And and he also has informed the court via the DPP's office that he is going to throw in the towel and actually be shutting down his business. We're going to be talking about this case here because we've actually been following him for a hot minute. We had a conversation with him for about 40 minutes last year in February of 2023. So we're going to give our listeners an update on that whole situation this morning as well. All right.
Okay.
CNCF, give you your feel-good story to, have the beautiful rest of your Wednesday. Cayman National Cultural Foundation has announced that the Cayman National Choir and Orchestra, CNCO, and the FJ Harcourt Cultural Center will have, the FJ Harcourt Cultural Center as its new resident company. So as a resident company, CNCO will now be permanently based at the complex, rehearsing and performing on site. And the partnership was celebrated with CNCO's inaugural concert at the Harcourt Theater this past weekend. So this is nice. They debuted international award-winning flutist Alexandra Hensel with the wider choir and orchestra under the director of music for the orchestra, Alina Makina, and director of music to the choir, Melody Gifford. So this is nice. I love cultured music,
For sure.
Yeah, flutists and a little bit of
Alina Makina.
So they say that this move is to welcome more creative companies to the Cultural Center, and it's part of CNCF's new strategic vision and the result of an 18-month strategic redevelopment project by the board, staff, and stakeholders. So I guess we'll be hearing more from them. I actually really quite enjoy the National Choir, and they have the folk singers and everything. It's great listening to them. All right, those are your news headlines this beautiful Wednesday morning.
Thank you, Sandy. See you tomorrow.
You are most welcome. Have a good one.
Bye.
All right. Good morning. Good morning to our listeners. Hello, everybody. Give me one quick second. Let me grab our links, honey child, because we have CUC coming in at 8:00. And then we're going to talk a little bit about a few other things. So let me just grab some links. Just hold tight one quick second. Uh-oh. Sorry. I was muted. Oh, good grief. Oh, Lordy. Okay. Okay. My apologies. I was just saying that I try to grab the links before during the intro, and then if I miss that opportunity, then I have to grab them afterwards. So just sending out the links to everybody on the WhatsApp group. Don't forget, if you want to join the WhatsApp group, simply send me a WhatsApp message, your name, telephone number, and I'll add you to the list. It is a notification list. It's not really a group. And in the world of WhatsApp, there is a distinction between the two. So with notification lists, it's one directional in the sense that you're on a list. And I have multiple lists because they only allow, I think it's 200 and something people on each list. But anyway, so I have multiple lists. And then what I do is I send out everything that's like posted on the website and the social media platforms and so on. And then, okay. All right. So yes. All right. So anyway, those links are now sent out to everybody. Okay. So CUC is coming on at 8:00. We have about 20 minutes. Let's talk about the case yesterday that I went to listen to. All right. Remember this guy, Donald. Sorry, my apologies. Listen, I don't want to have to say I told you so, but I told you so. Had he listened to me February of last year when I recommended to him, remember we had about a 40-minute conversation with him, a phone call, where essentially I said to him, listen, it looks like you're really struggling with Royale Medical. I'm getting a lot of complaints about you, everything from you not paying staff to sexual harassment allegations from his female workers and so on. And he just, wasn't getting it. Alex Cooper from Monrovia, we don't solicit messages on this chat, so I'm not sure why you're sending out your phone number to people, but essentially that gives you jackass status and gets you blocked on CMR. Go waste your time trying to scam somebody else, please. Not my listeners. Okay, good. Okay, so unfortunately, he never listened. And so here we are now. A year ago, had he listened, he would have shut down the business then and saved himself probably quite a bit of headache. And of course, he didn't do that. I didn't even realize that in November, apparently he had downsized and he had moved. If you go back and listen to that segment, and I did clip it out, I'm going to put the link here in this show comment section. You can always go back and watch it. It's on Facebook, and we aired just his segment last night. Had you listened, you would have saved yourself a little bit of headache and trouble. And in fact, I said to him at the time, let's look at one expense. How much are you paying in rent at that location? Because it's a very spacious location. It's centrally located. And so I knew that the rent could not have been cheap. And he said like $8,000. And he actually admitted to also being behind on his rent. And I said, listen, buddy, you're going to have to learn that there are times, there's no, it's better to have tried and given it your best shot and know when you have to throw in the towel. Sometimes it's better to do that earlier rather than later, before you leave yourself with a long list of bills and stuff that you have to pay, that you have no idea how it's going to get done. If you can't dig yourself out of a hole. And in fact, my suggestion to him at the time was that he was probably digging himself much deeper in the hole than anything else. And I recommended that he throw in the towel and he try to just catch up on, all the arrears that he had owed. Well, he refused. I mean, you guys will know that I spoke to him at length. Like I said, almost 40 minutes, and he just went on and on and on and on about no, he wasn't going to give up. It's not even about giving up, folks. It's about knowing when the odds are stacked against you in such a way that, like I said to him at the time, the writing is on the wall. There's really nothing he could have done short of somebody just handing him probably $200,000-$300,000 just to pay off his liability. There was nothing that he could have done to dig himself out of this hole. And he just didn't want to hear it. And I understand that, because a lot of times, we think we know better. We get into situations. I'm going to play a portion of I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's quite long, but I'm going to play a portion of it here. I said to him, listen, you've got this car, let's look at what you can do. Are you able to sell the car? And he admitted that the car is still the bank's car, that he's still paying a bank note on the car. So he didn't even have that asset, like basically had nothing. And I said, that this is not looking good. Everything that I already knew, and also what he was saying to me, just didn't make any sense. And I thought it was probably in his best interest for him to just come to that conclusion as well. He refused to come to that conclusion. And like I said, I imagine it's a very difficult thing to, put all of your energy into a business. Listen, I've put my energy into business. I know exactly how that feels. And then knowing that it is not going to be a success. And when you go that big, right? Everybody, all eyes are on you, the entire medical profession, undoubtedly looking at him as well. It's like having pie on your face. Like you have to admit that you couldn't make it work. But the alternative to that is actually, where he's now ended up. And to me, the alternative could have been avoided. It really, really could have been avoided. We didn't have to see him in court yesterday pleading guilty to charges. So let's reverse a little bit. This was February of 2023, last year, February, actually February the 15th. This is part of the end of the conversation that we were having with him.
Stay in this position, and I intend to stay like this. I intend to fix it. That's why I'm working.
The only way you can fix this now, right? Because you're always in arrears and you've been in that position for years. The only way you can fix this is go to another medical facility, see if they can't buy your equipment. Most of it's probably you're still paying for it, but see what you can do unloading some of the stuff. How much you're paying in rent every single month? How many thousands of dollars is that?
It.
Exactly. You're in over your head. You are in over your head. You've been paying your rent on time?
More or less.
More or less. That means at some point you've been in arrears and the people them trying to work with you. If everything is in arrears, there's no way that this can work. You have got to listen. I sympathize with you. Like I said, I'm a business owner. I get the expenses that a lot of times the general public doesn't understand and they don't know about. And you have to know when things are just not working out. And it's going from bad to worse. Remember how you were talking about Trinke? And you were talking about, how they had owed you money and blah, 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 because you told me a whole bunch of stories about them, remember? And you wanted me to embarrass them publicly? And look now at the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
Because you never looked to them to learn. You notice that I never did it? I never took you on board with Trinke? Because I knew you did not understand the business.
That's true. That's true. I have to admit that's true.
Sometimes doctors shouldn't be in business. Right?
Yeah,
if you're a doctor, if you're a lab technician, stick to that job, work for somebody else. And as long as they pay your bills, you don't have no other obligation over your head to worry about. Right? Other medical facilities have downsized and have come out of the business because if you can't handle your business properly, you're going to run into financial trouble. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I learned the hard way, and I'm trying to fix it.
Well, I'm telling you, you still haven't learned because I still hear you saying that you can fix this. And I don't see any fix for this.
It can be fixed. All
right.
I will fix
I tell you what. I'm looking forward to calling you again in 6 months and hearing how it has been fixed. Right? In the meantime, you've got all these people reaching out to me, complaining about you and about your non-compliance. And Kurt, I have really got tired of the complaints, and that's why I'm calling you this morning. You're going to find yourself back in court again. And in the meantime, what you're doing is you're creating reputational damage for yourself. That even if this business eventually fails, which it likely will, you're not going to be able to even go anywhere and get a job. Do you have what's your qualification? You're a physician, or you were there as a lab technician?
I'm a tech.
You're a lab tech. You know that people looking at you like you're a damn fool. I'm being 1,000% honest with you, right? This business fails, you're going to have so much debt over your head. All you're doing is accruing more debt. Who in Cayman you think will hire you as a lab tech after this? You going to go back to Jamaica after 23 years? Exactly. So I'm also telling you, save your own backside as well as do the right thing by people. Because you're putting yourself in an unbelievable predicament. Nobody will touch you with a 10-foot pole. And you have a family that depends on you.
That's why I have to fix it, Sandra.
All right.
That's why I can't give up. I have to fix it.
Well,
for that same reason. I have to fix
I
it.
don't know. It sounds foolish to me. And as they say, pride comes before the fall.
No, it's not pride.
So I don't know what to tell you, my dear, but I would suggest you come out of the situation. Kurt, I'm gonna wish you luck. We'll check in with you in a couple months and see where you're at. All right.
Okay.
All right,
but I am trying. I am trying. I can't turn my back. I need to. If it reaches that stage, but right now, as I say, I restructure, and I have help trying to help me to restructure.
All right.
And see how I can get yourself out.
Keep me posted.
And thanks for calling.
All right, dear.
Yeah, cool.
So we didn't call him back at the 6-month mark, but here we are at the 12-month mark, and he faced additional charges for non-payment, over $100,000. You see, what you guys were not aware of is that there was quite a bit of, we would have had 2 hours with him on the radio, but this was a failing venture from the jump, okay? In order for him to even get into this, he actually had to go and borrow money from other people to get the business going. What I wanted to say to him, and I see this happening all the time, people work in a company, whether they are construction workers, even janitorial workers, and they see a certain element of the business and they think, oh, this is easy. I can become a business owner. I can do this myself. They don't see the bills. They don't see the stress of trying to make payroll, paying insurance, pension liabilities. You can't afford medical equipment because if you want top-notch medical equipment and lab testing equipment, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars per equipment. Did this man ever sit down and do a proper business plan? I seriously doubt that, right? From the very onset, he was borrowing money from other people in order to start this business. So you already have investors who, an investor isn't going to sit down for 10, 15 years to get a return on their money. And if you're already starting to get within the first couple of years into a lot of debt and you can't even pay your staff, you can't make payroll, you can't pay pension insurance, you can't pay rent, every single thing you're behind on. The medical companies are even suing him because he was taking those things on terms and not paying those bills either. It is just a hot mess of a situation. So his trial date was set for Monday morning. It got postponed because not only is Kurt not able to pay his company bills, but even hiring an attorney to handle his case, he was not able to do. So the attorney came off record because the attorney's like, he can't afford to pay my bills. So between Monday and yesterday, the court begged his attorney to come back and, do it, not really pro bono, but they're like, okay, we'll sort out something with legal aid if you just handle this matter for him. Looks like the attorney gave him advice and he finally listened to somebody. And he pled guilty to all of the charges that you see here. Basically $100,000, just about rounded up, owing 3 different workers. One is a physician, owes her over $70,000 for 6 months of non-payment. And one was a coder and admin assistant. And then the other person was, I'm trying to remember what their position was, a collection manager. You can imagine owing your collection manager over $17,000 again, and that's just a couple months of pay back in February 2022. So, on the one hand, you can say, oh, he gave it his best shot. He tried. But I don't know, because, a year ago, he could have gotten himself out of this situation. So someone says this morning, good morning. Just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for the work you do in bringing out the injustices among the most vulnerable, and by extension, the many instances you bring justice to those affected. Please take a moment to thank police officer Michael Pert for his hard work and dedication to our residents. He's always out there working hard to keep us safe. Royale Medical needs to go to HMCIPS, that's the prison. He's not deserving of any leniency. Now, I don't know if the judge is the magistrate in this case, because it's a summary court. I don't actually know if she's likely to send him to prison or not, because obviously when you go to prison for financial crimes, the chances of you being able to pay your victims back is slim to none. The reality of this situation is this. The chances of him being able to pay his victims back in this case are slim to none in any event. It is slim to none. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, one of the victims, like I said, is a doctor. She's an OBGYN. But they themselves have to recognize that he has a long list of creditors. He's finally decided to throw in the towel. This is what he has divulged to the court. Although he has not publicly said this as yet, I think the public, it's only fair that the public is made aware of this, because you guys, if he owes you money, you're now a creditor. You might want to get your name on the list, because as soon as he starts a liquidation process, there's going to be a long list of individuals who, will be trying to seek some sort of compensation, right? And if the company doesn't have any real assets, I can tell you that that's going to be near impossible. So here's the sign. Apparently he moved, and like I said, I was not aware that the office had moved from the old HSBC building. What's this building called again? I always forget what it's called. Anyway, he moved from Baytown Plaza to Savannah Plaza, which is right there off of Hearst Road. I was not aware that that's where he was. He was in a little corner unit number 6, quite a considerable downsize. And of course, the location isn't centrally located, because I know one of the arguments that he had when he started off the business is that, location was everything. And he was really happy to be centrally in West Bay Road, because people could pop in, and even visitors, it was close to them if they wanted to do any sort of quick lab test or whatever, that could happen. So this is where he moved to, this little corner unit. It was shuttered up yesterday. So now he is supposed to be starting the liquidation process. And basically what that is he winds up the company. And hopefully he does it in the right way, so that creditors can then put their name on the list of creditors. I don't know if you went there and you need any medical records or anything else. There's the email address that you can reach out to the company for. It's a sad situation, but like I said, this is a lesson in probably just knowing when to throw in the towel, and being a bit more sensible about business. Everybody wants to be a business owner, and I can tell you it's not for everybody, because you have to know that there's a lot more to being a business owner. Like, you have to have things organized. You need to have a business plan of some sort. You need to have an idea of what you're doing from a business perspective. It's much easier to be a worker, and looking from the outside in, you think you know how easy it is. And this really was the underlying mistake that he made, because he worked for Trinke as a medical technician, like a lab worker, right? He wasn't even on the management side of things. He think that he understood. The irony of it, like I said, when I was talking to him last year in February, is that he was very, very critical of Trinke, which basically they were having lots of issues as well. That's why Dr. Dursaran sold it to his brother, because they were not able to sustain themselves. So, you know, they had a lot of issues and continue. Well, Trinke, I don't know about Trinke itself, but Dr. D continues to be plagued by lawsuits against him as well. Because you are a doctor, a lab technician, or whatever, does not mean that you have what it takes to become a business owner. And that really is the takeaway here, folks. You know, a lot of you work in organizations and you think, oh, I can do this. I could, you know, why am I working for somebody else? There's probably good reason why you're working for somebody else. So he was very, very critical of Trinke, complaining about how they weren't paying their bills, they weren't paying pension, they weren't paying insurance, all this sort of stuff. And he obviously didn't learn any lessons from that situation because, again, he didn't understand fundamentally what it took to run a business. And so there you have it. Now he owes, this was only 3 people, by the way. There are many more people out there that he owes money to. Some have taken the civil route and have decided to, sue him in a civil court. Like I said, he doesn't have $100,000 to give. If he had $100,000, he wouldn't have been in court yesterday. Let me put it that way. And on top of that, the DPP's office had been working with him and paying off other people prior to this. So it's a sad situation, but from the onset, this was a failing business. All right, we're going to be pulling in CUC here in just a second. Everton says business does not fail. You fail the business. I hope I said it right. Siobhan says that he found himself back in court. He more than likely got blacklisted as well. No one is going to want to hire him after this. Not smart, stubborn and ignorant, not pride, but didn't want to listen. And I mean, this is what I said over a year ago. That was the conversation. I said, Kurt, come out now, because you're only going to do continued damage, not just to your business, your employees, your vendors, all that sort of stuff, but you're also going to do irreparable damage to your own reputation. If you go get a job now as a medical technician, a med lab, whatever, you're going to be paying a substantial amount of your salary because a compensation order will come from the court. He's going to be paying every month, trying to pay off all this debt. So, it's a sad situation. He said he's been in Cayman for 23 years and nothing but a bag of debt. Everton says once you're in arrears, it's really, really hard for you to catch up. And this is something that we have talked about here in this program before, and I want to stress again because I've always said it. That's why the banks don't mess around with you, right? When they see you miss about 2 months, the chances of you being able to find the 2 months payment, the interest payment, and it really depends on where you are in the loan, obviously, as well, and then catch up and continue with your payments is very, very slim. And unless they hear you with some sort of a viable and workable plan as to how you intend to do that, they no longer wait 6 months before they start the process of trying to protect their own interests, right? They're going to take that home, they're going to sell it, and they're going to do what they have to do. And you can't really blame businesses for taking that position, because then they take on the debt. And it's unfortunate. So Carol says he was on the Health Practice Commission. Really? Well, not sure which politician appointed him there, but there you have it. Siobhan says people think business is easy, and it's not. There are too many things that go into running a business. Good morning, Ms. Carol. I can't imagine if you don't pay your employees what you would compromise to save $1. If you had your lab work done there, I would suggest getting it redone. And there were also accusations that insurers needed to be careful working with this company, because his staff were saying that there was some funny business going on with insurance claims, AKA allegations of insurance fraud. Now, that is a very, very serious allegation. That would indeed be criminal as well. So I suggest that both patients and insurance companies review that, because here's the thing. You can't turn a blind eye when it comes to fraud at any level. But in particular, something like insurance fraud, which eventually impacts all of us, right? The more insurance fraud there is happening in this community, in this country, the more that all of us are going to pay for premiums, and we see the skyrocketing, insurance costs, because some way or another, those things have got to be covered. All right. So again, I caution people who think that they are doing something great when they're, involved in insurance fraud. This is a horrific thing to get yourself involved with. All right. Ramsey says, try calling him again. Honestly, there's no need. I've given you guys the update. What happened in court yesterday. There is another hearing on the 22nd of May, I believe, is the follow-up date. There's a victim impact statements where they'll be able to write in and say how this has impacted them. Listen, some of these people had to move out of their homes. They weren't able to pay rent. I saw one of the civil suits where she said, she's behind in her rent, card payments. Their bills were then falling behind because of this. So I'm sure that their victim impact statements would be interesting as well. Intro Thompson's has found a wallet this morning. Do we have a name? Or just send me the photos of the wallet on WhatsApp. So KK, the business is technically still operational, but he has indicated that it will not be. He's going to wind up the business. All right, folks. So thank you very, very much. Stephanie, can't see the comments. Some of you reported this yesterday. Just try refreshing your feed. I think it's some kind of glitch on Facebook for some people. I don't know if you're viewing it on your phone or how you're viewing it. I can see the comments on, I'm just looking at the screen over here. I can see them on the computer, and obviously on my app, I can see them as well. But definitely try to refresh, and that might resolve it. Sarah says $1,400 for a pap smear. Yeah, real crook. I told my insurance company, do not pay. $1,400 for a pap smear, girl. That must have been a golden pap smear. What the heck is that? That's ridiculous. All right. All right. Let's not have our guests waiting. We like to have our manners about us. Carol says that wasn't someone trying and failing at business. He plain stole. Good morning to Eddie, joining us from Vienna. Oh, nice. All right. Let's jump into this. Yeah, Facebook is having an issue where comments not showing up today. Refreshing doesn't work. Oh, really? Alexa's trying to talk to me. Angela says he owes my friend $10,000. He had her working for how long? They put their hat where they can't reach it. Wow. Well, Angela, you want to make sure that she gets in when he winds up the company. And I have my suspicions about this because I really don't think that he's going to wind up the company in the proper way. Because when you go through, even if it's voluntary liquidation, pursuant to the Companies Act, then creditors can come forward. But all of that is going to take money because he doesn't know how to liquidate a company. So he now has to take someone to properly liquidate the company. And I doubt he has that money. So how will the creditors ever get paid? Unfortunately, that means you're either going to have to sue him or go to the DPP's office. KK says, I'm confused. So these people weren't paid for a long period of time. Did they report him? Or it's all coming to light now? No. So some of this is from 2022, 2023. And like I said, I know that they're more, I feel confident in saying that there's probably no one that worked with him that he does not owe money to. So some of them have taken the civil route and just filed a lawsuit. Others have taken the criminal route because it is against the law to not pay people their wages, right? To be very, very clear. And they have gone to the DPP's office and filed a complaint. So some of the individuals in this current case, that only represents 2 months worth of payment. So for example, the admin assistant, the $10,900 that she's owed, that is 2 months from January and February of 2023. The collection manager is owed 2 different pay periods, totaling $17,000 and change. And that was for the earliest of that goes back to February of 2021. The OBGYN physician, she sat back for months, which I'm shocked at. And her arrears covered a 6-month period of time for $70,000. So she was the one who kind of, sat back and allowed him to do this for much longer. All right, so let's pump the brakes on that discussion. We'll pick it back up after our guest. I see a lot of you still have more comments coming in, but we do have a guest who has joined us this morning. Give me one quick second. I'm going to just pull out some notes here so that we can have a full discussion with our guests.
Taste of Cayman is back with a side of black-eyed peas. Friday, April 12th. The Food and Drink Festival on April 13th. Bundle tickets and save. Don't miss out on the culinary and chef demos. Delicious food and drink from over 25 vendors. Caymanian cultural performances. Live music, mixology, and more. Taste of Cayman is presented by DART with the support of many valued sponsors. Buy your tickets at tasteofcayman.org.
All right, folks, make sure you get your Taste of Cayman tickets. They're actually going to be on the show tomorrow, so I'm sure they'll probably be giving away a few tickets, so make sure you tune in early. All right, so we have Jiva Richards with Caribbean Utilities Company. Good morning. Sounds like you've muted yourself. She is the manager for customer service, so just hit that unmute button. Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Not bad. How are you doing?
Great. Happy to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. So I know that CUC has been busy working on quite a few initiatives, actually. There's been some great updates to the website, for example. And one of the features that you've recently launched is a CUC Live Chat. So tell us a little bit about what the CUC Live Chat feature is.
Sure. So one of the things that we've taken into consideration when we launch new features is our customer feedback, and we're taking every avenue and effort to increase the options they have to reach out to us and contact us. So in addition to being able to get us by phone or email or direct messaging via social media, we've now added a live chat feature, which is on our website. So customers logging in or logging on to the CUC website or just getting on will see a live chat option at the bottom left right corner of the screen. It'll just be a box saying, hey, you want to try chat with the agent? You can chat live with us. And we did that so that obviously, again, we're increasing options for our customers to reach out to us and get that direct human contact. So it's not a bot, it is live.
I'm so glad that you said that, because that was going to be my next question. Because a lot of times it looks like a live feature, but it's actually an automated, bot that kind of, based on what you say to it, figures out what you're trying to ask. So this is a live person. Are there certain hours then that the chat is actually being monitored?
Yes. So it's 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. That's live. Our agents are monitoring, chats are responded to within, the normal time frame, which is 1 to 2 minutes. Outside of those hours, there is an option for, customers to leave a message or, and we will get back to them and respond to them when we're back in office or when our regular hours resume.
Okay, very, very good. All right. So again, you just go to the regular, just give me the web address, because I'm actually going to pull it up now and just show I'm going to show our listeners in real time exactly how they can do this. So let me just pull up a little web browser here. So we're going to go to
www.cuc-cayman.com.
Cayman.com. All righty. So we're here. They use cookies. I'm going to say accept. So need help, chat live with the CUC rep. So there it is right there at the bottom right-hand corner.
So when you select that, it'll give you an option. Right now, they'll tell you that it's outside of our hours.
So it says it right at the top. Available Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We're offline right now. Leave your details so that we can get back to you later. So if I say it wants my name, so if I say, Sandra Hill, and we say next, email address. I'll put in my email address. Does it have to be the email address associated with your CUC account, or does it matter?
It does not have to be.
Okay. So you can give them a phone number so they'll call you back too?
Correct. Either what we'll do is we'll reach out to you via email, and if we're unable to get you, we'll also send you give you a call. So absolutely, it's the options of for us to have as many available contact points so that we can respond to you and answer your queries.
Oh, this is good. Let me just increase it so our listeners can see. And so then one of the questions here is, what are you inquiring about basically? So we have application for electricity, billing, customer share purchase plan, other, status of a service request. So I can just say other.
Correct.
And then
in the box below, you can tell us a little bit about what you're querying.
So I'm going to just say testing the new chat feature. Very nice. And so I send that, and then sometime between 9 to 4, someone's going to reach out and contact me.
Yes, that's correct. And the reason that we've allowed any email address is because we recognize that, it's not just our existing customers that want to reach out to us, right? We have new customers or people, wanting to make inquiries on different products or services that we offer. And so it doesn't have to be the email address associated with an active CUC.
Okay. All right. So when you have a dedicated, I guess, customer service team, so when they get to the office, they will see all the queries that would have come in through the chat feature, and then they'll respond to them accordingly.
Correct.
Well, this sounds very easy. What sort of response have you had so far in relation to this?
Actually, it's been very good. Did initial launch on January 31st, Feb 1st. We consider, I guess, a soft launch, where we launch it on our website, and now we're promoting it. We're trying to, encourage people. Sometimes you can't get to the phone. You can't make a call during work hours, or an email might be inconvenient. You just want to ask a quick question. This is an option that we provide, and we've actually seen very good traffic through this method. And one of the things that we also do is at the end of this, we give customers an opportunity to say, how was this service? Was this good? Was this bad? What's your feedback on it? And we take that feedback and incorporate it into our improvements in terms of how we can do, how we can improve what we're doing and what else we could potentially offer.
And does it work on mobile devices as well?
It does.
Wonderful. All right. So all of your smartphones, you can log in the same way. Okay. So this is really, really good. Now, this is one of the features in your CUC chat. How else can I reach out to CUC if for some reason I don't want to use the chat option? What other methods of contacting customer service are there?
So as I said at the top, you can, call us by phone. That's 949-5200. We have agents available for calls. Again, agent calls are available 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So those are longer hours for calls. You can reach us via email, usually the same times, 8 to 5, and also direct messaging via social media.
Very good.
And there's an option on our website as well. You can do just a web form and just fill in. You have a contact, you want to reach out to us. You can fill that in, and that flows through to our agents as well, and that is responded to accordingly.
Okay. So lots of ways, folks, to reach CUC. They've got the new chat feature, which is directly on their website, cuc-kman.com. You can contact them by phone. They've got service at cuc.ky. Social media, Facebook, I see Twitter, Instagram, and which one is this? What's the other one? Oh, LinkedIn. Yes. So they've got options there in terms of accessing them in that manner as well. So thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to share specific to the CUC Live Chat?
No, just want to encourage people, to take the opportunity, use the feature. It's there. Provide feedback to us because again, it's valuable to us. We incorporate it into our services. We use it to improve what we offer our customers. So that's also something that we'll be rolling out on, our email communications as well, giving people the opportunity to know that, they can voice their concerns and or positive feedback. We're very happy to receive that as well and incorporate that into how we can improve all of our services.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate having you on the program today. Again, CUC's customer service manager, Miss Jiva. Appreciate you, Richards.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.
All righty. Bye-bye. All right, folks. So there's the chat feature. I like chat features because I might just have a quick question about how to do something or whatever. I rely on email and these types of chats a lot. So now you know that option is available if you'd like it. Happy Wednesday, Emma. How are you? Hoping everyone is a safe holiday. As we go into the holiday weekend, always concerns that y'all will drive even worse than you do on a usual day. Found a wallet. Yes. Send us the picture of the wallet. I haven't checked Facebook yet this morning. Actually, we have a team member that she normally checks those messages and will post them. But yeah, send a picture of the wallet and we will try to, is there any indication of who the wallet belongs to? Like does it have any cards or anything in it that says so-and-so, a name? That's always helpful. And by the way, yesterday, someone sent me a message through to the page from a wallet that was found like 3-4 weeks ago. Some of y'all really wait a long time, and I hate to tell you, but time is not your friend, okay? The longer you wait, even from our perspective, because we get so many messages every single day. We get people WhatsApping us, Instagram, Facebook, the gamut. The longer you wait to come forward when something has been found for you, the least likely we can even put you back in contact with that person. Recently, I had someone reached out about someone who lost a wallet back in 2021. I was like, are y'all kidding me? Seriously? 4 years later, like, no, don't even ask. I can't help you. That's just crazy. KK says they need to be more lenient when it comes to these extensions, especially with us poor people. About you only allowed a certain amount for the year. We can barely bill. I guess you might say we can barely pay your bill, and they about only a certain amount of extensions. Ridiculous. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Just like I was just saying about the banks, it makes logical sense why if you're a debt collector and you understand how debt works, the last thing you want to do is continue to give people extensions. I'm just saying that's not really going to work in your favor. If you can't pay it now, what makes you think you're going to be able to pay it later when you have other bills and other things coming up? You gotta listen. I used to do debt collection. I can tell y'all something. I might start back here soon. You have got to get on it as quickly as possible, because you see, if a person is falling behind in one bill, the chances are they're falling behind in other bills, and it's like a snowball effect. The exact same thing with Kurt. Snowballed. It snowballed into him not being able to pay how many workers now? 936-2626 is the telephone number. It's quite an unfortunate situation for the workers. I don't really feel sorry for Kurt because I think that he should have never gotten into business to begin with. And so he should have known. $1,400 for pap smear, that's a ripoff. Most pap smears are like $150. So on top of not paying his staff, let me try to understand how this is working out for him. On top of not paying his staff, not paying his vendors and all this kind of stuff, he was also ripping off insurance companies and ripping off his customers. What kind of pap smear cost you? I mean, I know some of y'all think your vaginas are golden, but they're really not. What kind of pap smear is going to cost $1,400? Maybe his utensils were golden, And then those same workers, the same OBGYNs weren't even getting paid. Honey child, you can imagine what they were thinking. Oh, you're going to charge customers $1,400 for a pap smear and still not pay me? Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Sandra?
Yes, sir.
I'm a bit confused. What ice cream has to do with medicine?
What does what?
Ice cream have to do with medicine?
Ice cream? Nothing that I'm aware of.
Yeah, you said pap smear.
Pap smear.
Isn't that a flavor ice cream?
No. What flavor is that supposed to be?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I wouldn't get the jokes. I've never heard that flavor before, but no, honey child.
What that is?
Y'all are full of jokes. Come off the line, cha. My God, what a mess. Good morning, caller. Hello? Hello? Somebody's butt dialing, honey child. This person said that they paid $40 for their pap smear after the insurance. I mean, normally they run maybe a couple $100. I mean, I've never even paid for pap smear because I think it's covered under your annual welfare benefits. Wellness benefits. So you get a couple dollars. This person says, good morning. I only paid $40 after my insurance for my pap smear. No, sir. He was ripping them off big. Yeah. What a hot mess. Ay. So be careful with the butt dialing, honey child. We'll talk about that later. I just saw a profile picture. These AI things now making all y'all look like supermodels. Y'all look good. Yeah, so let me find his other, hold on. I'm going to tell y'all about this other lawsuit. What's the name of his place again? Royale. And like I said, there are people who he owes money to that I know for a fact they haven't done anything. And I guess that's going to be to their detriment because they haven't filed a lawsuit. They haven't done any of that stuff. Oh, look at this restoration application. So like I said, this is a snowball effect. So back in June of last year, it looks like his company had been struck off of the register. It says platinum. What does it say? So this comes up on the court list as well, that it had been struck off and he was seeking to have it reinstated. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's how he spells his name? Oh, this is interesting. We've been spelling his name wrong the whole time. Well, we will certainly be fixing that this morning. We want people to make sure they can find him when they need him with the correct name. All right, so here's his application to have the company reinstated. By the way, today, folks, is March the 27th. If you have a local company, make sure now you have until the end of the month, basically until Sunday, to go online and pay. I did mine yesterday. Go online and pay your company registration. It's not very much for local companies, but if you don't pay it, you run the risk of getting struck off, yes, of the registry. And then you have to go through this whole thing of getting reinstated and or paying late fees. So don't mess with that, honey child. Go ahead and let me see here now. Where did this document go? Oh, good grief. Can't find something when you need it. So go ahead and make sure. I don't know where this is saving this document. That's the problem. Oh, it's under downloads and documents. Okay, start download. Yes. All right. So make sure, folks, that you sort out yourself and pay your fees on time. Because trust me, when you don't pay your fees on time, they're definitely going to strike you off. So here's an affidavit that he had to supply in order to get the company reinstated. So again, this is probably, if this is a local company, this is just a $300 fee. This shows you how much this man was really struggling to pay his fees. So this is an affidavit signed back in May of last year to have the company reinstated. No telling how long it was struck off for. Because normally it's not within the calendar year. It's probably was struck off for a minute, or he hadn't paid the fees for multiple years, and then they strike it off. Because they will still give you, they're not going to strike it off immediately. They'll give you the opportunity to pay late fees. So there you have further evidence of how much trouble he was in, really. Such a sad situation. I'm telling you, the snowball effect when it comes to debt is something that is real, and don't play around with it. You know, you gotta be aggressive immediately once you find yourself having issues and you're starting to fall behind, because that's the only way that you can get out. So that was an application for the clerk of the court on behalf of Royale Medical and Wellness Center to restore it to the register of companies. What a hot mess. They don't attach the affidavit to this, so that's kind of interesting. All right, let me check the court website here for a second. So yeah, unfortunately, like I said, there have been, numerous lawsuits against this man and his company. I don't know what other shareholders there are. Unreported judgments. Let me see here now. Yeah, I don't know what other lawsuits there are against him, but what a hot mess. So, we've reported on at least, I think, about 4 or 5 lawsuits at this stage. So if he owes you money, the best advice I can tell you is now you have to aggressively pursue the matter, or the chances of you getting paid will be slim to none. This is a reality of what's happening here. All right. Luis says, well, I had one of my businesses failing me, lost a few $1,000s and decided to throw in the towel because it did not have the potential. And, Luis, that happens. Sometimes we think we've got a award-winning idea and we think, all right, this is going to be my $1 million idea, and it just doesn't work. And so I think the sooner you recognize that there's probably nothing you can do to make it work and throw in the towel, the better off you are. But it takes a certain degree of discernment to be able to come to that conclusion. I think that if you're one of those people who's not a very realistic person, like you believe in fairy tales and rainbows and all this kind of stuff, you're probably not going to be the best business person, because sometimes you have to make really hardcore decisions about your business, which might mean throwing in the towel. And if you're like, no, something's eventually going to work out, I'm going to find an investor, it's like, man, I really wish that was the case. But in more instances than not, that just is not going to be what's going to happen. Not at all. So let me have a look at civil grand courts ordered by judgment date. I wish the grand court would allow this list to be searchable in a different kind of way. This is not the most user-friendly list at all. So this is the judgment register. Oh, here's the search register. Let's go here. Somebody needs a revamp on this website. Okay, so we have them being sued by Vanguard Risk Solutions. Now, isn't Vanguard an insurance company? Risk Solutions are an insurance company, right? So they've issued a writ. It says the plaintiff is a duly incorporated company registered in the Cayman Islands, right? And let me also say this. The reason why he ran to have the company listed back, pay attention now, students. Class is in session. I don't want y'all to miss this nugget of knowledge. The reason why he would have been wanting to do that is because if he doesn't do that, well, apart from the fact that he's run afoul of laws, I'm sure, because his business license, his medical license is probably in the registered name, but that also puts him on the hook personally for liabilities, which if he is the only director, he's probably going to be on the hook anyway. But let me be very clear, with a company, you have limited liability. That's why that little LTD limited is there, right? And you can only go after the assets of the company, because in law, there's a separation between individuals who might be directors and so on, and the actual company itself. But the problem is, if the company itself has nothing but debt and no assets, he's thinking now he better run in and go, make sure that the company is back on the register to protect his own personal assets. So in this instance, he had signed a promissory note for $29,624 dated back in January. They included it. He was supposed to make an initial installment of $2,250 on the 15th, followed by additional installments of $2,250 on the 15th of each month until the entire amount was repaid. So I want to say this because I think that this is really, really important, right? I know that a lot of you will go on and on about these companies, insurance companies are ripping us off, and, this one's ripping out. Even the one with that guy in CUC, understand this. These companies, they do business in this community. Yes. And so they don't really get anything out of trying to take you to court. In fact, a lot of times they recognize the reputational damage that is potentially done. They're probably not going to get a whole lot of their money anyway. But they're going to do their best to recover their money. But I want to say that most of them will go out of their way to really work with people. They really do. So, I've seen this time and time again, even the banks. By the time the bank, and this is what I say to people, you reach out to them. Don't make them be chasing you. By the time the banks have said, man, we need to take you to court. We can get our money. Chances are they don't feel like there's any other alternative here. So they offered him. There's no telling what period of time this money is actually from, but they offered him a payment plan on almost $30,000 that he owed them, right? They've attached the promissory note. So we'll look at the details of that here in a second. So yeah, these people are trying to work with you. They're not happy to have to hire lawyers and take you to court to get this money back. But look at what they say here in relation to him. That a condition of the promissory note was that in default of payment of any installment, the whole of the principal sum remaining at the time of the default would become immediately due and payable. So what that means is they've given you a payment plan for $2,250 per month, $2,250. You can't miss a single payment. Once again, they understand people who are in arrears or in debt. You're already behind by 30 grand. You have other bills to pay. We're going to give you a promissory note with a payment plan attached. If you start to fall back on that, we know what that means. So they put it in here. You miss one payment, and that's it. The whole amount is going to be due. Now look at point number 6. The defendant has failed to pay any installment due or any part thereof since the execution of the promissory note, despite requests being made by the plaintiff. My God. So he did not even say, here's $100. Let me throw a little $100 on the $2,250 per month. He did nothing, didn't pay a single dime. I'm telling you, this company would have worked with him, even if he had $1,200, a good faith payment each month, they would have worked with him. But what does he do? He pays nothing. Okay. So then they issue a demand letter dated February of 2024 and say, hey, buddy, you failed under the terms of the promissory note. So now you got to pay us a total $29,000. So he's in breach. I'm interested to see what the promissory note looks like. Let me just see here. Let me see. Promissory note. Okay, between Vanguard Risk on the second floor, Maiden Place, Elgin Avenue. Where's Elgin Avenue again? That's in town. Elgin. Oh, okay. Yeah. Royale Medical and Wellness, 42 Hearst Road, Savannah Plaza. Yep. 9th day for the value received. Did it at 29,000. Yes. Upon default in any payment of the promissory note, the maker must repay Vanguard on demand and on an indemnity basis all legal costs. All payments made under this promissory note should be applied first to payment of accrued and unpaid interest, then to the payment of costs. Yes. Failure or delay on the part of Vanguard in exercising any power or right under this promissory note will not operate as a waiver. So, yeah, he's got a contract here, promissory note. Oh my gosh. Hold on, honey child. We got some more stuff for y'all. Now, this gives you an idea of of how long it would have taken him, even under the promissory note, how long it would have taken him to pay back this money. You know, these things are not just interesting, but this is also a lesson for you all in finance. This is a lesson in you for debt and how to not put yourselves in this type of a situation. $29,000. Some of y'all be going out there purchasing a car for that and more. That's fine. But look at when you're paying 10% interest on $29,000. How long it takes to get that money back. So they have the principal amount from December of 23. Legal cost, because yep, they had to go and engage a lawyer to write up that promissory note. So you're going to pay for that as well. Interest. So look at this, right? Had he paid the $22.50 per month, it would have taken him to March the 15th of 2025 to pay this off. You see what interest does to you? Interest is a funny thing, you know. And I know y'all don't pay attention to it with your mortgages. You don't pay attention to it with car loans, credit cards, but look at what the interest does. So even when you pay down on it, the interest is constantly accruing every single month. And at the beginning of this repayment promissory note, you're actually paying $275 in interest alone. It's not till you get to the end of it when there's very little left that you can see the final payment of that $1,316 was interest. Finance 101, honey child. All right, somebody else says, good morning, Sandy. Someone just called me to ask if you can further add to Kirk Donald that he owes his Strata $6,000 for Prospect Haven, and he's still driving around in his Mercedes, which he said in last year, to be fair to him, Vanguard is health insurance, formerly Fidelity Health. So again, he had been paying his health insurance for his staff. That's what that is all about. So yes, he also admitted last year when we spoke to him that the bank still technically owns the car. Hopefully he's making the car payments. Otherwise, I'm going to be a Mercedes bicycle here shortly. All right. What a hot mess. I mean, I'm sure the list of creditors is very, very long. So, of course, the Strata, that's a personal debt. That's not a debt of the company. So I suggest y'all take him to court as quickly as you can. That would be my suggestion. We have BTP Development Limited also suing him. Let's have a look at this one. My God. So this one is BT, who are they? BTP Development. I bet you this is rent. Yep. On the 18th of April, they say that in 2019, they entered into an agreement with him to lease legally registered as registration, blah, blah, blah. So this is his place there in Baytown Plaza, looks like. So he was leasing approximately 2,116.74. You mean they couldn't round that up? Square feet under commercial development, 36 West Bay Road, known as Baytown Plaza. The lease required the defendant, among other things, to pay rent on the first of each business month, pay CAM on the first of the month, pay utilities outstanding on a monthly basis. On January the 10th, listen to how far back this goes. On January the 10th, give me 1 second here. All right. So it says here, okay. So it says here that on January the 10th, he, 2020, the plaintiff purchased Baytown Plaza. So this is whoever these BTP people are, including the premises, and assumed the lease. And the plaintiff took custody of a security deposit, paid the defendant under the terms of the lease in the amount of $6,526.62. He defaulted on rent, CAM, and utility payments at several points during his tenancy in the premise. The plaintiff served the defendant with notices of forfeiture and was preparing to commence enforcement action against the defendant. So in October of 2023, the parties entered into settlement agreement on the following terms. So he keeps promising and trying to settle this with people, and it never goes anywhere. So apparently, in settlement and breach of the lease, the defendant agreed to pay the plaintiff $134,968.71. That's the settlement amount. Wow. So he probably owes. We haven't finished going through all the lawsuits yet, but just a quick calculation in my mind. Like I said, I'm no mathematician, but if I'm to do the math, I'm going to say this company, Royale Medical, is at least in the hole by $500,000 to upwards of $1 million. Yep. Wow, that's pretty wild. So, and that's conservative, because I'm also not thinking about equipment that he probably purchased that he owes money for. So basically, he was supposed to pay 20 grand to be paid in October, 10 grand to be paid in October, 10 grand October 30th. So he had all these dates that he had agreed, and of course, he hasn't paid that. And on top of that, remember now, it's not just the $134,000. Remember when I asked him if he was in arrears on his mortgage, and he was kind of like, not really, sort of. And I'm like, okay, that's a yes. I don't know what not really sort of means. And of course, he hasn't paid that debt either. So they're also suing him for that money. Wow. It's pretty wild. The company that's another lawsuit, Laboratory Corporation of America. So this now is in relation to equipment that he owes. So they're suing him for $86,000. Looks like in breach of this agreement. Again, invoices dating all the way back to 2022. This is an American company now suing him for that. Not the promissory note executed by Kurt Donald, director of the defendant company, back in December of 2022. So he acknowledged the debt of over $86,000 and still hasn't paid it. So there's that one. So y'all doing the math here. And then Juliana or Mia is suing him. So this is probably an employee, sorry. She is suing him for another, so she was an employee. So he owes her money on her contract. I think, this is another doctor owed her, she's being paid a monthly salary of $14,000 per month. And this lawsuit is for $20,000. So, yep, that's then we have another one. My God, there's quite a few of them here. Anyway, we tried to help him, but unfortunately, he wouldn't listen. Now, to be fair, there's a lot of other medical facilities out there who are, really and truly not, his proper name is Reynold Kurt Patrick Donald. So there are other people out there, folks, who are not doing their part either. They're not paying their bills, but they have had a streak of good luck. And you know who you are, because what they do is they're quicker with trying to recover. So when someone files a lawsuit, because they let it go that far, government has sued them for bounce checks, and you know who I'm talking about, Trinke. Government has sued you for bounce checks and all sorts of stuff. When that happens, they'll run and say, "Oh, I'm going to go pay it off real quick." So they seem to be able to find the money after the lawsuit is commissioned. Their problem, however, is every single time that happens, they contact CMR and starts to say, "Well, can you not report on this?" No, we're going to report on it. Once it hits the courts, whether you then try to pay it off afterwards or whatever, that's not my business. We report on court documents and lawsuits. And so what I suggest is you need to not put yourself in that position. 345 Tires says Vanguard does malpractice insurance. Oh, thank you. The facility has to have that to be registered with the Health Practice Commission. But I wonder if they really had it, if they were in arrears. Was the policy still live? Remember that female doctor who was here without, same thing, she hadn't paid her malpractice insurance? Ramsey says, the list continues. Christine, good morning. Try and hush about the 2 a.m. child. That's a hot mess. This one says Trinke's brother drained him to the bones. Which brother? I don't know which brother you're talking about, but that's another set of people who probably should not be in business together, or should not be in business at all. Go work for another company. Johan in the house. Johan says he's bored. Johan, you know what happens when you're bored? Can I tell you what you can do when you're bored? You see, Johan doesn't have to worry about these things, honey child. Johan always pays his bills. All right. Let me see here. Okay. Okie dokie. All right. Well, there's only 2 of them. Okay. So let me just see here now. Yes, honey chill. That's a hot mess. Everton says, I hope that these people that he has money for put a lien on his business, but what exactly are you going to put a lien on? Right? If the business has all this debt, it looks like it's at least $500,000. What are you putting the lien on? Business doesn't have any assets. This is the problem. But yet he said he can't give up on the business, but in this kind of whole money-wise, no, sir. Yeah, he just, I could just see that the dude was just not, just wasn't sinking in. Carol says, laughing out loud, Trinke. Johan, Radio Moscow for life, CMR for life, says Siobhan. Yes, sir. All right, Miss Norma. Good morning. Good morning, honey child. Let's move on to talk about a little bit of celebrity news coming out of the United States of America. And then I want to talk about minimum wage. And of course, you can call in and talk about anything you want. 936-2626. Lines are open. We're having some open mic opportunity here today. So P. Diddy, as he's known as, honey child, he is in trouble. All I can tell you is this is a hot mess and then some. And there's always a bit of collateral damage because y'all love yourselves a celebrity, especially these American celebrities. And even when they're into like the most ridiculous naughtiness ever, y'all just be there for the party. Listen to me. Not all company. Take it from me. The good words of Aunt Lottie. Good morning, Aries. Not all company is good company. And you can't swear for no company. The only company you can swear for some of the time is yourself. So let me just say this. Be careful the people that you hang out with. Yes? Because now everybody's stepping forward. Everyone has a story to tell, of course. They're all like, oh yeah, he was doing this and he was doing that. And meh. I'm like, really? And you're now coming forward because of what? I'm suspicious on why all of a sudden you all are telling your stories. In fact, there have been a few people who have told their stories for quite some time, but nobody would listen to them. I think that's telling and that's interesting. I'm trying to find a video here that someone sent me yesterday of this guy who all of a sudden now he's like, oh yeah, I knew Diddy wasn't no good. Really? Did you really know Diddy wasn't any good? But yet you were still partying with the brother? You were still hanging out with him? You still had nothing to say? Listen to this.
Morning, 2:15, 2:30. Phone ring is unknown number. I don't answer unknown numbers. But, my wife looking at me like, yeah.
Who is that?
Pick that up.
I want to know about this.
And put it on speaker.
Yeah.
I picked it up. I say, who is this? It's Sean. I'm like, Sean? It's Puff. I'm like, oh, what's good?
You talking low like that?
You're talking low. So I was like, hey, what's good? I said, what's cracking? He said, we didn't see you tonight at the BET Awards. We didn't see you tonight. He said,
he checking in.
He said, what you doing? I was like, oh man, he said, oh yeah, we over here at the he said, I'm over here at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I said, oh, for real? So who over there? Just me.
What? Come on, man. That man ain't saying. You serious?
So y'all know what the implication is when you get that after hours call. Anything after midnight, you know what it's all about. Nobody decent calling you after midnight, honey child. That's what them young people call a booty call. After dark. 12 o'clock. You got a 12 o'clock appointment. So you call the man 2 something in the morning. His wife is sitting there. He says he puts the call on speakerphone, and Lord have mercy. Look at this. I'm here by myself. Why you don't roll through? What? Y'all know. Y'all done know. But like I said, why are you speaking up now? That's my only question is why now? Because the whole thing is being dumped on Diddy. And listen, there's no doubt that from what I have heard so far, that Diddy has done wrong and his behind looks like he's about to join. Somebody just said it in the comment section. He's going to be joining R. Kelly. The two of them are going to be bosom buddies in the same cell together. This is real. The problem with this, right? You can be as freaky, leaky, deaky, whatever as you want to be, as long as you're doing so with adults, number one, and you have to make sure that they're consenting adults to whatever kind of freakiness you're in. Because, the interesting thing about it is everybody has seen this what 50 Shades, and everybody wants to make their own version of 50 Shades. But let me tell y'all something. Way before 50 Shades, y'all have been doing some really disgusting things. 50 Shades makes Dominique tricks and chips and whips and chains. And what's that whip and chain song that's really popular right now? Everybody bebopping to that and whatever. Y'all all into it. Like it's cool now to be freaky. And I have nothing to say about anybody who wants to be freaky. I'm not here to judge your freakiness. Thank you very much. I'm just here to say, because none of my business what you do behind closed doors and the comforts of your home. That's not my concern. As long as it does not involve children, it doesn't involve animals, and it doesn't involve non-consenting adults, the law doesn't care. All those things are illegal, by the way. And that's why we would care if any of that was going on. But if it's a consenting adult, I don't care. I'm not going to care if y'all want to suck each other's toes from now until kingdom come. But what is going on here, the allegation here against this man, is sex trafficking. We were talking about the sex trafficking case in Cayman yesterday. This is very, very, very dangerous. It's against the law. You don't traffic people because that means that you're doing it against their will, either expressly against their will, or you're trapping them. And you see, these guys are so stupid. Not only do they break the law, but they're so brazen with it because they have a little bit of money and they have position. They think they can do whatever they want. And now it makes me wonder. I mean, I go back in my head and I'm like, I wonder why J-Lo left him. She probably saw something that she's like, no, honey child, that's a bit too much for me. Nope. Let me go and grab out my little white man who's going to be more normal. No telling what she saw. So he goes around and settles these agreements, and this happens all the time, where they start to settle these lawsuits and these agreements with other people to try to keep it on the down low. But a lot of times in the settlement agreements, what happens when you sue these people? They have to give a deposition. Same thing with Bill Cosby. They give a deposition, right? Because they're getting ready now for the lawsuit. And when they give these depositions, what I can tell you is a lot of times in the deposition is a lot of interesting information. That's why when y'all were defending, I'm going to try and find this video here. Let me see if this is another one where they're talking about P. Diddy. I'll tell you here in a second. A lot of times when y'all be defending these people, I'm saying to myself.
Good evening. It is great to have you with us here on a Monday night. And we begin tonight with the breaking news. The extraordinary scene late today. Federal agents moving in on homes in Los Angeles and Miami. Homes belonging to music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The images coming in tonight. Federal authorities, including teams from Homeland Security, raiding the homes. Tonight, sources telling ABC News it is connected to a human trafficking investigation. The aerial images right here of Combs' home in the wealthy L.A. neighborhood of Holmby Hills. Heavily armed agents, armored vehicles there. 2 men have been detained at this property. Law enforcement sources telling us they are his sons. Combs has faced multiple lawsuits in recent months with allegations of sexual assault and sex trafficking, accusations he has denied. ABC's Kana Whitworth leading us off on the breaking news. She's in Los Angeles tonight.
Tonight, heavily armed federal authorities raiding homes belonging to legendary rapper and entertainment mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Agents from Homeland Security Investigations seen in fatigues and body armor entering his home in the wealthy L.A. enclave of Holmby Hills. Drones flying overhead, Combs' 2 sons reportedly detained at the scene, and more agents at his mansion in Miami. The Department of Homeland Security confirming to ABC News that they executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation. Law enforcement sources telling ABC News that this case is being handled out of the Southern District of New York, and the investigation involves allegations of human trafficking. Combs had multiple lawsuits leveled against him in recent months with allegations of sexual assault and sex trafficking. Allegations he denies.
And David, a lawyer for 2 of the alleged victims, told us in a statement that they welcome today's law enforcement activity, adding that they hope this is the beginning of a process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible. David?
Kana Whitworth leading us off on the breaking news. Kana, thank you.
What a mess. I hate to tell you, but from the looks of it, this is not going to be a good situation for him. None at all. Wow. Anyway, He's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. So, like I was saying, a lot of the depositions bring out a lot of interesting information. So I know some of y'all still swearing that came at the world's favorite dad, Bill Cosby, is innocent. And why did these women wait 30, 40 years? Bill Cosby is as guilty as P. Diddy, as R. Kelly. All of them are disgusting sexual perverts. And I can say that because in the civil deposition, for the one lawsuit that he settled, that woman with millions of dollars, and I can tell you what, he had been paying off people for years. Yes. In one of his depositions, he admitted to drugging and sexually, he didn't call it assault, because in his mind, it's not assault, but that's exactly what it is. The legal definition and the common sense definition is you cannot have any sort of sexual relations with someone who is not in a position to consent. So if they're passed out, whether they passed out because they drank too much or you drug them, which is even worse, because you drug them with the intent of sexually assaulting them, that is assault, folks. Let's be very, very clear, because some of y'all still don't understand the definition of what assault is, what rape is. This is the same thing that happened with what's his name that's in jail now? Renato. DJ Renato. Same thing. Well, he sexually assaulted her twice. Once while she was passed out, and the second time when she was fully awake and cognizant of him pinning her down, holding her down, and raping her. Both a rape and sexual assault. You cannot have sex with somebody who cannot consent. Okay, so P. Diddy's in trouble. It's interesting yesterday that it was announced that apparently his private plane arrived on. People were saying he was in Cayman, but they're saying that his private plane had touched down in Antigua. Don't come to Cayman, brother. Do not come to the Cayman Islands, honey child. We can't save you. You come here and we can call the feds on you. Good morning, caller. No problem. Yes, sir. Well, I don't understand. You say they're withholding land papers. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So somebody else is stealing your land papers to use it as collateral? Uh-huh. No, unfortunately, I don't understand. You're saying to stop withdrawing. What do you mean by stop withdrawing? Mm-hmm. But how can somebody steal your land? I don't know how does that happen? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that I'm understanding this at all. So you have let's understand this scenario. You're saying that you have a piece of land. Somebody else uses your land papers to get a loan? Okay. So you're saying that people are stealing land papers and the police don't know anything about it? They're using the police to rip off people. How are they using the police? You're not threatening them. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, they need to have evidence. I mean, anybody can People saying that they can't hear you, but anybody can make an accusation, I suppose. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that I've ever heard of this scenario happening before, but what bank did you just say? Cayman who? Cayman Development Bank, the government-owned bank. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, my dear. Thank you very much. I've not heard that before, but I'll ask anybody else if they've had this issue to come forward. Thank you, sir. All right, dear. Bye-bye. I'm not sure. Social media people are saying that you couldn't hear him. That's strange. I see the meter and radio looks good for his call. Were people on Facebook able to hear him? Everything looked like you should have been able to hear him. It was on the chat feature, so you can't hear him either, says Everton. Oh gosh. I don't know why y'all couldn't hear him, but I'm not sure that I understood what he was saying. He was saying that people are like taking your land papers and then getting a loan. And I don't know how. Could not hear him on YouTube. Oh, that's weird. Let me hold on one second. Could not hear. Okay, one second. Let me just check something here. Let me see who I can call. Miss Darlene, can I give you a call? And then I want to try a couple things while she's on air, because I haven't messed with any settings, so you guys should be able to hear our WhatsApp callers. He was calling through WhatsApp, but it's WhatsApp through the computer. So anybody that can take a call this morning? Denny, let's call you. I think Miss Darlene might be busy. So can y'all hear that ringing? I try not to mess with any settings once it's working, trust me. Hello, Denny. I'm good. So can you guys hear Denny? Continue speaking, Denny. I need you to speak for no ringing. They can't hear you. Speak for. You can speak in English. All right, let me try putting it to mean. Let me know now if you can hear him. Go ahead, Danny.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
All right, let me know.
Can you
social
hear me,
media
members of parliament?
Still nothing on social. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Somebody just said yes. Amori, now yes. Okay.
No. Okay.
Okay. Now let me make sure. I think radio should speak again for me, Danny.
Once upon a time, there was a country.
Okay.
That's kind of vague.
All right, we can hear you. All right. Thank you, Denny.
All right, bye.
One little adjustment there, resolve that issue. But I'm still confused by what the caller was saying, because how can someone take your land papers? First of all, your land papers, that's not something that exists. Like I can just be like, these are my land papers, and this only exists here. So if you steal this piece of paper, you can steal my piece of land. That's not how it works, right? So you might have the register showing your name, whoever else is on the piece of land, and then who has the mortgage, whatever, charge over the property. But the land registry, Lands and Surveying, they're the record keepers for all of those documents, and they have it electronically. So no one can't steal a physical piece of paper that then allows them to steal your land. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And when someone claims that they own land or they have access to land, they need to provide certain documentation, which is held with the Lands and Surveying Department, to demonstrate that their name is actually on that property. So again, I'm a little bit lost on what that question was all about and how people are stealing people's land like that, because that shouldn't be possible. So if y'all know anything about it, do by all means give me a call. I think what is happening, and this is something y'all need to be careful with, is people will come to you and convince you to sign a piece of paper, adding them to your property, which you shouldn't do. Even elderly parents, y'all need to be careful adding your children. Because what happens is once you add your children and y'all think, oh yeah, I'm old now, my children are going to take care of me, I want to add them to the property so that they can make certain decisions about the property. Well, you know what decisions they be making, honey child? They go to the bank, and although you worked hard 50 years of your life to pay off that mortgage, they're going to turn around and then use that land to get a mortgage to support their lifestyle. And that is what's happening. So I'm not sure if that's what he meant, but there's no piece of paper that somebody can just steal your land like that. Those days are long gone. So I wasn't quite understanding what he meant by that. Anthony says land papers are public documents anyway. Yes. Pretty much you can do a land search. Oh, maybe we're going to get a further explanation. Hello?
Miss Sandra, you're wrong, ma'am.
Yeah. Explain to me, because I said I'm not understanding it. So explain it to us.
I'm just asking to notify the banks and Cayman to stop. The loan officers must stop withdrawing, withholding. If you use a land paper to go to get a loan on the bank, stop withdrawing it for people, ma'am.
What do you mean withdrawing it for people?
Like, if they're using the land as a collateral, they would go back to the loan officer and withdraw it, ma'am.
How can you withdraw it, though?
Well, ask Cayman Development Bank how they withdraw that one, ma'am.
Well, okay, tell me, first of all, explain to me, when you say withdraw, what do you mean by that? So you're saying the bank, you used a piece of land as collateral. That's what happened. And then you're saying the bank withdrew it? What does withdrew it mean?
Miss, I'm saying, right? If somebody steal a piece of land here in the Cayman Islands and they transfer the one to their name,
how do you steal a piece of land?
Listen to me, ma'am, and they're using it in the bank, and then they just say, for example, they go to the police and say all kinds of things and make you get arrested, and then for the police to investigate it, they go back to the loan officer and withdraw it, ma'am. Withdraw it without even finish paying off the loan that they borrow, ma'am.
Okay, but I'm still stuck at how somebody steals land in Cayman in this day and age.
Well, believe you me, miss, I got trust you me. If I would tell you the history about Cayman and the people in Cayman, you would be surprised.
I'm not talking about history. I'm talking about in this day and age, in the past, say 30 years.
Yes, miss, listen, okay, ma'am, hear what you do.
Land?
Hear what you do, ma'am. Hear what you do, right? Call the Joshua police station, ask to speak to Officer Bogle, and he will tell you the history, ma'am. Because he was the one who arrested me, ma'am. Ask him, he go tell you.
So you were arrested for what offense? For stealing land? What does that have to do with the land?
No, ma'am. What happened was some people photocopy my land, and then they get me to sign papers to a child that don't belong to me. And she will give them the document back. Like if I sign them, they might they carry me to court. She carry me to court for me to sign for the child to get Cayman papers, and then she would give them the papers that I signed, ma'am, through court, ma'am. And then they were using my land in Cayman Development Bank, and then she went to the person went to the police and tell them, say, oh, I threatened to kill her and this and that, but it was never true, ma'am. I never did threaten nobody, ma'am. And then that because they're ripping off people, ma'am. You understand? Ripping off the bank. You understand? And then what they do is go back to the loan officer and take it out the bank before the police find out what they're doing, man. You understand?
So did they forge your signature? How did they get this land? Did they forge their signature?
I'm not too sure, but they're using people. You see, what happened was they're using like when the woman came in to get the papers for the child, like just a piece sign on my like they get papers for the child. like photocopy my ID, and then they just have to be sign it. They would use that, ma'am.
So you claiming a child? Did you do a DNA test? Somebody comes and tells you a child is for you. The first thing you should request is a DNA test, right? Especially if you weren't in a solid relationship.
But miss, this is the thing. I speak to you about it before, that the Georgetown Hospital is approving a child that don't belong to me as 99.9%, ma'am.
Now, I mean, I got to tell you, this story is starting to sound a little bit far-fetched. So the Lands and Surveying Department allowing people to steal land. Stuff is going on. Funny stuff is going on with DNA.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. But miss, this is what I'm trying to tell you, ma'am. Listen, if the Lands and Survey have your land title, right? But if they photocopy it,
photocopy what? They can't. No, they can't photocopy it.
Yes, how are they using the land inside Cayman Development Bank and then withdraw it from inside the bank, ma'am? Tell me that question, ma'am.
If their name was never on it, right? And if someone takes the documentation, because there are transfer documents that are required to put people's name on stuff, but if that happens and they go to the court with that, or the lands department, there has to be someone who witnesses the signature of both people doing the transfer.
Well, ma'am, I tell you the truth, none but the truth, ma'am. I'm telling you the truth, ma'am. Because you see, listen, Lands and Survey, right? They were giving people, like they were giving them falsified identification of their own name, ma'am. And they still approving it too, ma'am. So how that work? I got documents I could show you too, ma'am.
Well, I mean, no one is supposed to be signing your signature unless you've given them some sort of power of attorney or some reason to do so. And if you're signing something in front of a notary or JP, and you're not known to that person, they should always ask for a government issued ID, like a passport or something with both your signature and not even necessarily your signature, but at least your name and your photograph on it. So this sounds like one bag of confusion.
But miss, you see, this I was trying to tell the people them inside Children and Family Service Unit, because when we went to court, I tried to explain to the judge. I went to the judge too, but the judge don't read no letter I get to the judge, ma'am. What is going on? And then you see, nobody inside the court for Children and Family Service never stop and to look into what's going on. You understand what I'm saying, ma'am?
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds very, very confusing, because I'm honest with you when I say I don't really fully understand what is going on here. So probably if I'm confused, maybe Family Services is confused as well.
But that's all I gotta say, right, ma'am? I'm sorry to say that, but I got how to turn around. I got how to sue the police station, the whole police station department, Children and Family Service, Lands and Survey, Cayman Development Bank. I got how to file a lawsuit against them, ma'am.
Well, you can do that. That's a good thing about living in a democracy, is you can definitely sue all of those people. So that's not a problem. Just get yourself a good lawyer and sue them, and then the details of it will come out. All right, my dear.
I am filing a lawsuit right now, ma'am.
Okay, my
Sorry
dear.
to say that, but if they don't like it, that's a problem.
Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, my
Have
dear.
a good day,
No
ma'am.
problem. All right, love. Well, I'm not crystal clear on what's happening here, but if a lawyer can make heads or tails of this, then yes, get yourself a lawyer and sue whoever you got to sue. And sometimes that's the way to bring out these things. But I would be lying if I told you that I understood any of that. Really, I'm not understanding how somebody can steal land and all that kind of stuff. So I'm confused. Don't know what he's talking about, to be honest. Anywho, honey child, I don't know. I would be guessing. So it sounds like a bag of mix up with land and mortgage and child that isn't his. And I mean, all these things in this day and age are relatively easy to sort out because you just get a DNA test. Seriously. You have a child, especially for you men, because y'all got there sowing your not so royal oats all over the place. If you're not sure if the child is yours, don't be signing anything, taking ownership of the child. What you first do is you get yourself a paternity test. Yes? Make sure the child's yours. DNA don't really lie, honey child. So, and I don't think, I mean, the allegation that the hospital has done something funny with DNA is a very serious allegation. And I must say, for 1 second, I don't believe that at all. I don't even know if they do the DNA testing here or they send it to an overseas lab. Do they have the ability to DNA test for paternity purposes in Cayman these days, or is that sent overseas? It's probably sent to another lab. But anyway, I don't think that the hospital has any interest in giving you a child that really doesn't belong to you. Ramsey says, good luck, fella. Well, Siobhan says, if you're going to sue, make sure you got your facts and proof. Yep. And again, you know, the banks, they have an obligation, and I don't know who y'all banking with, but they have an obligation to make sure that when they enter into any kind of transaction, they're giving you a loan. Because listen, not for nothing, but when you first get a loan, the banks are the ones taking the risk. They're taking on a lot of risk. So if you get a house, $500,000, $300,000, whatever, the bank is taking other people's money to loan you in order for you to be able to purchase this home. And then you're going to repay them with interest. But at the very onset of that relationship, the risk is 1,000% on their end. So to be very, very clear, you know, they need to be cross-checking, double-checking, the whole 9 yards. And that is why after they have looked at the financial side of things, right, and they have approved a mortgage, they're not the ones who handle the transaction with lands and serving, whatever. They have lawyers that do that. And there's a specific reason why they have property lawyers and experts who do these types of transactions every single day. Because they don't want to take any chances of any kind of mix-up story with their mortgage. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, the bank doesn't have their interest protected. Because they're the ones who are going to come out on the losing end. So they hand it over to the lawyers to do the closing. And you have to be in a position to prove certain things. And, you know, if you have a company, there's certain things that the company has to be able to provide, certificate of good standings and so on, to the lawyers before they can close out a transaction. Morning, caller.
Good morning again, ma'am. You're wrong, ma'am. You're really very wrong, ma'am.
Okay, tell me how I'm wrong.
Because if they transfer the land into their name, how the lawyers going to be different? The lawyers don't go in land and service to find who originally own the piece of land.
Tell me, how did they transfer the land in their name?
Why, miss, I don't even know myself. I try and figure it out too, but listen to me. The time when it happened,
right? That's where it has to start. That's where you have to start.
Hold on.
And if that was fraudulently done, hold on a second now. If someone fraudulently transferred land into their name, that is something, it's a serious allegation. First of all, it's a criminal matter if they did, but also you can get lands and surveying involved in disputing that, and that can be overturned. You can't just transfer people land into your name just so.
But miss, it happened, ma'am. Listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ask the loan officer from Cayman Development. Ask the loan officer, Cayman Development Bank, why they fired the loan officer that reject the land. But there was a real estate company on my land too, ma'am.
What do you mean a real estate company?
Welch and Lifestyle Real Estate, ma'am. Ma'am.
Uh-huh.
You're so wrong, ma'am.
So there's a real estate company on your land? What does that mean?
That means that they're using the land for a collateral, ma'am. No real estate company in the Cayman is not gonna put no real estate sign on. No bank not gonna put no real estate land. Real estate company on a piece of land if they're not using it as collateral, ma'am.
So the land was in foreclosure or what? Why would the real estate company be involved?
That because whoever transferred the land to their name, they was using as a collateral, and there was a real estate company, Welch and Lifestyle Real Estate. You see, this is the thing, ma'am. When police arrest somebody, ma'am, they don't properly investigate, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying, ma'am? So how the lawyers or whatever the banker, they don't go inside there to see who the land original belongs. So once it in the person name that who they give it to, they're not going to do no investigate to see who inside who in land the land really for, or if they steal a piece of land. No, they never did it, ma'am. Because they would never, if they had do that, they would never give no loan to the person, whoever the individual person is, ma'am.
Well, I mean, they can only go on what's on the land registry with lands and surveying, but I mean, like I said, I don't know.
Miss, if somebody transfer the land out of my name to their name, right? They're not looking at that title.
Mm-hmm.
What the name is on, ma'am. They're not going to dig up to see who the land really belongs to, or how they get possessed with this or that. You understand? They're not doing it, ma'am. Only who the land title, only who the name is in.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I haven't heard of this situation before, but yeah.
Well, it happened to me, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All
what
right.
you're saying is incorrect, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
What you are saying on Facebook is incorrect, real incorrect.
Okay. All right, my dear.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. All right. So I think this might be, Johan says, must help him. I think this might be beyond the scope of what I am able to do. Lavana says, Bobo, it sounds like that piece of land is being sold. My brain cells are all over the place. I'm trying my best to understand his story. Siobhan says he better tell the whole story because something isn't adding up here. I mean, I don't know. He's saying that he doesn't understand some of it himself. So, I can't understand what I can't understand. Johan says if Auntie Sandy solves this case, make her the commissioner of police and the attorney general all in one. Try hush. Leroy says he needs some Advil. Good morning, Miss Darlene McKenzie. How are they transferring land without you being there? I don't understand that. And I do want to issue a warning for the record, because I do know occasionally some shenanigans happen with people and property. This is a warning for JPs, especially. Notaries, they don't do it with as much, but they go to JPs because anybody can really be appointed a JP. A lot of these politicians and whatever, they're JPs. People come to them and want them to sign a piece of land. The other day, in fact, a politician reached out to me last year saying somebody was in the hospital and they were in need of a notary, and they wanted to know if I was still in the notary because they wanted me to sign some documents for them in relation to some land business. I said, oh, no, honey child. No. I'm not signing no deathbed land transfer, no nothing. When someone is in the hospital and they're sick, they might not be in their right mental capacity. Do not, yes, I'm a notary, but do not call me. Under no circumstances. I don't know what the mixed-up situation is there, and you're not putting my name under no scrutiny and under no foolishness about, oh, I signed off on somebody transferring land to grandchildren, and now there's some big mixed-up family. No, don't call me. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Sandy, with all of this, I know he's totally confusing us, but I think it's something going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because for him to say that the police arrested him, obviously something went on. So maybe he just needs someone to help him that better. Maybe he can't explain himself properly, but maybe, you could suggest that he get someone that knows about the case and can better explain. Obviously, he has maybe, learning. difficulty.
I mean, definitely. I think, something's going on. So absolutely, I think he should reach out to a lawyer because if someone even made him sign documents because he said he didn't quite know how something happened, maybe the best thing to do is to get someone to investigate this and they can take it further. But it seems like there's a lot going on with paternity and police and land and all kind of stuff.
Yes.
So,
but to be honest with you, Sandy, we may think that this is long time thing, but things like this is still happening though.
Well, this is what I was just saying that
is still happening.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying that
anytime you see these people going,
need to be careful. You as a JP or a notary, don't be signing stuff for people, and also those of you who are out there who have land and property and whatever, don't wait until you're in your deathbed to decide what you're going to do with your land or your property. That really isn't the time to be making those kind of decisions. Once you have Alzheimer's, that's not a time to make the decision.
Exactly, but let me tell you this: there's certain JP themselves that gets close to the people, and then they go in and know all of the ins and outs, and there goes the land. So don't.
I don't want nothing to do with it.
That he's what he's doing. Yep. So
absolutely. Thank you, caller.
Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, somebody else called me recently about some family land, and I said, "Listen, family or no family, there's certain things I am not getting finagled or mixed up in. I don't want nobody to ever call my name talking about I trying to take land from nobody." So when I heard the story, I said, "None of my business." Yes, that person doesn't have any children. They don't have anyone else to look out for them, but it's not my business. Lawyers are like, "Oh, well, we need somebody because, we don't know if she was in her right mind." Not my business. The woman has known me my entire life. My father left property. If she wanted help, if she wanted to reach out, she could have done so. She never did. So it is not my business. I am not getting involved in nothing. I'm not looking for nobody dead left. I will work my little bunker off for what I have and praise the Lord, hallelujah, and thank him. And I'll keep working. I don't want nothing from nobody. Don't call out my name because I have seen situations with family that would make your head spin. I know one family member, she uses her little piece of property as like a, I don't even know what, bargaining chip. "Oh, you do this for me, I can leave this piece of property for you." She's promised that property to about 10, 15 people, and I don't want nothing to do with it. Don't call me. If you can't do something for someone just out of, if they need help, you can either do it or you can't do it. If it's going to put you in a financial position where you're going to hurt yourself, don't do it. But don't do stuff for people with the promise of they're going to leave you land, they're going to leave you this, they're going to leave you house, they're going to leave. No. Don't get involved and mixed up in them kind of things, folks. Leave it alone. Pat said also there's a benefit of leasing land instead of selling it. Caymanians don't know nothing about leasing land, Pat. They just love to sell. Trust and believe me. Anyway, I was saying that there's so much stuff coming out of the woodworks right now with P. Diddy. Everybody coming out with evidence and stories and, the whole 9 yards. It's unfortunate, but look at this clip now.
We hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
15-year-old Justin Bieber in that clip with him. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, now this is so creepy." It was creepy back then, if y'all paying attention. Again, what big man? Listen to what he said.
We hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Wow, honey child. I don't know what buckful crazy means, but I can only imagine for someone who's now being accused of sexual assault and trafficking. Sexual trafficking. All kind of people name being called. TD, somebody said TD Jakes. He's that pastor, the African-American pastor guy. Prince Harry. Oh my gosh, y'all are crazy. Pat says, let's discuss the parents who turn their children over to this man. They do it all the time. Your child is talented, and there are people like him, like R. Kelly, all these people, Michael Jackson. These people just put their children in the hands of wolves. Or they're going to sign a contract. They're going to give them an opportunity. Opportunity to do what? Expose your children to all kind of foolishness and potentially molest them? Y'all are crazy. Kevin Hart in the mix-up too? Oh, geez, peace. Morning, caller.
Boy, morning, Sandy. You know, it sounds like you need a little bit of that fever grass. He's smoking.
My God.
Listen, Sandy, if you don't believe in people like Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein and stuff like this, I mean, you got to take your mind towards these cults that they have in the United States. Like, a lot of people don't like jumping into rabbit holes in a Sandy, but you got to be aware of these people, yo, because some of these people are the same exact people that we invite on our island, welcoming in open arms, like as if we supposed to idolize them because we listened to them in the 90s or in the early 2000s. You got to check it out, Sandy. We are in a dimension in time where people are normalizing a lot of crazy things that back then we would have been like, to hell with that, you know? They're doing things. They're doing things. And if you don't believe in demons, Sandy, read the Bible a little bit more.
All right. Thank you very much. Music producer is the latest accused Sean Diddy Combs of sexual misconduct. And in that $30 million document, there are names mentioned, including Prince Harry. It says that Combs, who faces a litany of sexual assault allegations, is said to have drawn guests to his infamous parties through his VIP associations with celebrities, such as famous athletes, political figures, artists, musicians, and international dignitaries like British Royal Prince Harry, according to the legal notice. To be clear now, I don't think it's saying that Prince Harry was involved in anything, but it's just talking about how this is a 73-page lawsuit accuses the billionaire of being a serial sex abuser. There's no suggestion of any wrongdoing by the prince. His name is only mentioned once in the documents as an example of a well-known celebrity associate of Combs. Both Harry and his brother, Prince William, were pictured with Combs and Kanye West back in 2007 when the musicians performed in the concert for Diana at Wembley Stadium. So again, nothing really to do with the prince, but this is what happens. Of course, these people are going to be rubbing shoulders with dignitaries and royals and whatever. When you're in that atmosphere, that sphere of being famous at that level, you have access to a lot of people. So Mr. Jones accuses Combs of sexually assaulting him and claims that he threw parties attended by sex workers and underage girls. Wow. He also alleges that Combs coerced him to solicit prostitutes and pressured him to have sex with him. The 54-year-old media mogul has denied the claims, which he describes as pure fiction. Combs is also facing lawsuits from 3 other women. 2 of them, while 2 of his properties in both Miami and Los Angeles were searched by federal agents on Monday as part of an ongoing investigation. So as you guys know, Homeland Security investigations New York executed law enforcement actions as part of their ongoing investigation at his LA home and Miami. One of his sons was actually arrested as well. He was also in November, this is kind of what has kicked up a lot of this now. He was sued by his former girlfriend, R&B singer Casey, who alleged that she had been raped, supplied with drugs, and assaulted by Combs over a 10-year period. The suit was settled the next day. That's because he knew Casey had some goods on him. The suit was settled the very next day, but the 3 other lawsuits followed over the next month, alleging that he had sexually abused the claimants or participated in revenge pornography against them. In a statement in December, he claims that he said the claims are sickening and said his accusers are looking for a quick payday. He says, let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for my truth. But there have been several people, and they were calling those individuals crazy. The one lady in particular, I can't remember her name now. She has been talking about this stuff with P. Diddy in excess of like 10 years. You see, y'all don't want to listen sometimes when people are telling you that predators are right, yes, so. Y'all not listening, you're not paying attention. And the people who try to call them out, those are the ones that, oh yeah, that woman's crazy, or she has an axe to grind with him, or this, that, the next thing. But it took one more allegation, one lawsuit, which she settled the very next day, to start the snowball effect that you're seeing now. What do I think about all this? I don't know P. Diddy. I don't know anything about the man. Got one or two songs that I've probably listened to over the years, but I think that there's probably something to this. Just like R. Kelly, I don't trust none of these men, honey child. The more money you have, the more power you have, the more position and prestige and access, sometimes the more the deviant behavior is allowed to continue for decades and decades and decades. That's just how it is. R. Kelly is a very disturbed man. He's been interested in little girls for far too long. He has sexually abused them. And like I said, some of you parents are complacent in the whole thing by allowing your children to go to these people's homes talking about a record deal or this, that. It doesn't make it right what they've done. Let me be very, very clear. But as parents, you need to protect. I'm not gonna have no 15-year-old son that gonna be going hanging out with some media mogul like R. Kelly without me sitting in the room. Like, what I gotta be here. What we doing this weekend? What you say? We gotta go butt crazy. Does that include a visit to Cheesecake Factory? Because that's as butt crazy as we're getting with my 15-year-old child. Mm-hmm. Justin Bieber was still a child. So I don't know what the hell I mean, look at little Justin Bieber, the look that he gave when P. Diddy's like, oh yeah, we gonna go butt crazy. Look at the look that he flashed him. That poor little child. He looks so innocent. Look at when Justin Bieber with his usual little boy face. My goodness. He probably was still a virgin, and that weekend he got all turned out into all kind of freaky deaky. Look how he look at P. Diddy like, what? We gonna be doing what? Going what? Buck what? What? Justin didn't know what he was up for. A little sweet little thing from Canada. Look at his face. He's like, we going full buck wild. What does that even mean? Full buck crazy? Seriously, Justin did not even know what the word buck crazy probably meant. He's like, whoa, he's going to be showing me some stuff that I have never seen. Pat says, look at how traumatized he is now. I mean, parents, no, not for all the money and fame in the world can you expose your children to these monsters just because they have money, just because they have position, just because they can get your child a record deal. There's some things that children should not be exposed to. See, Debbie says Jaguar Wright has been exposing Diddy for years, but she was labeled as crazy. Of course she was. And all these other celebrities, all these other people were just sitting back doing nothing. Mm-hmm. They knew. The guy talking about getting the booty call phone call at 2:30 in the morning from P. Diddy talking about I'm in the hotel room alone. Everybody would have known in those circles that this man was freaky beyond, that he crossed the line. Because like I said, you can be freaky and not cross the line. There is a difference. Now, let's bring this home to K-Man. Because quite frankly, I don't really care anything about P. Diddy. His victims hopefully will finally get some sort of justice. But we see the stories over and over and over again. The P. Diddy's of the world, the Michael Jacksons of the world. I don't care what y'all say. Michael Jackson had to have been a pedophile. I'm sorry. I don't care how many lawsuits he paid out and how much he settled. No adult man wants to sleep in bed with little children, little male children at that. That's not normal in any way, shape, or form. Okay? That's deviance is behind that kind of behavior. So right here in Cayman, we have the same foolishness that's going on. Oh, the person's a politician. That's why you're hanging out with them. Yes, they're molesting children too. Oh, they own this type of business. Oh, they have a business. Send the child to the gas station to go work for him. I had a young man who came forward and told me about how a particular man here in Cayman, known pedophile, never been convicted to be clear, molesting children, molested his uncle, and then turned around and molested him. And here's the sad part about it. When he was offered the little after-school job, right? The grandmother had the audacity to say to this little boy, 12 years old, oh, you be careful. Now you hear? You be careful around them at that gas station. What? Excuse me? Well, granny, you not got no sense. How do you send a 12-year-old boy into the lion's den with adult perpetrators and you gonna tell him he must be careful? How is that possible? How does a 12-year-old protect themselves against a sexual predator? And Granny knew what was going on. And instead of her coming out and saying, no, son, you can't go work there. You might need a little after-school job, but it's not gonna be that one. What does she do? You must be careful. Huh? I don't understand. Y'all must be crazy. Because there is no child that is going to be able to protect themselves from these predators, plying them with alcohol and all this other kind of stuff. It just doesn't happen. Yesterday, we talked about George now. 18 counts between rape, sex trafficking ring, and all sorts of stuff right here in the Cayman Islands. Why was George, 24 years old, hanging out with 14-year-old children? 14-year-old girls, driving them up and down in his car, taking them to his nice condo in Avia or whatever the heck it is. Multi-million-dollar condo, big-time condo. And your parents are there seeing you with these little children and they're not going to ask any questions? I'm sorry, but if my 15-year-old, 14-year-old has a friend older than them, that's not gonna work. They're not gonna have no friend older than them. Let me be very, very clear. Because why would a 24-year-old want to be driving you around and hanging out with you? Something not right. That doesn't computate into anything that is normal. And as parents, you've got to have your antennas up at all times. Even his parents, because I understand they all live together in the same residence, even his parents should have been like, why are you bringing 14-year-old children in my house? Oh, it's his house. Okay, whatever. Why are you bringing 14-year-old children up in here? Run away. These girls that are running away, somehow they were ending up with George. DPP, please come good with your case. But I heard there's a lot of evidence out there, honey child. Come good. Because we need to lock up and we need to find out who else was involved in the sex ring as well. Because it wasn't just him. So start digging them all up. All the gerunds of the world, start digging up in their business. Start looking at those phone messages. And all you baby mamas sitting back, knowing that your boyfriends and spouses are dealing with little girls and you want to blame little girls, talking about, oh, this little girl trying to take my man from me. You need a box upside your head to knock some sense into you, and then you need to call the police and report your baby daddies, spouses, I don't care. Because believe me, the same way he can go after somebody else's little 12, 13, 14-year-old child, one day your child is going to be that age, your same child with him or stepdaughter, and he will see nothing wrong about going after that child as well. You're not just about protecting your children, you have to protect all children. Step up to the plate. Rough Seas, good morning, says Captain Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle have been telling you all this for ages. Johan says parents are ultimately responsible giving their kids over to predators, whether they're celebrities or the common person, they put their kids in harm's way. Very, very, Miss Aline says it's scary. It should be. It is scary. Gabby says Cat Williams said it. All of these big so-and-so king deviants is all catching hell in 2024. Well, You know, we've had the hashtag Me Too movement, but it keeps going. And I say, good. Nobody is above the law. And so at the end of the day, we should know that things, what I say, you can do what you want, but not for as long as you want. Things eventually come to the surface. And I say, catch them all, honey child, catch them all, out them all. I don't care how long ago the allegations were, bring it all forward, honey child. Johan says, just because you aren't convicted doesn't mean that we do not have predators and pedophiles in every level of society and elected to parliament and Cayman. Well, you listen, we got people who think it's okay to go around biting people on the hand and kissing and sucking on people's necks and other things at public events. So if y'all think that if they can be bold enough to do that in person, imagine what they're gonna be doing behind closed doors. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all have it make sense, because y'all know. And Caymanians have a way of talking, you know. Y'all sitting there. Most of y'all well know who these people are, and you're still exposing your children to them. Tell me, well, they're family, they're your cousin. That child predator is your cousin. So yeah, go hang out with your cousin. Yeah, I know he molested your aunt, but maybe he's not gonna touch you. Like, really? What the hell's wrong with y'all? Oh, mercy, says Miss Aline. Honey chow. Miss Arlene says, Sandy, some parents encourage their young children to run off with bigger, older adults just for gifts, money, and more. Yep. Look at Mr. Webster. Look at that case. Right here in Cayman. We have more than one Webster, by the way, who are child molesters. I've heard some stuff about certain elements of that family. I'm not going to paint all the Websters the same, but be cautious. So we at least have two that we know that are definitely family members, uncles or whatever, and they're all nasty. One went after his own child, and then the other one was going after other people's children, and his daughter had the audacity to be defending him and getting upset with me because I was calling him out. I said, please. Oh, Sandy, she cursing you about you talking about her father? She can curse me all she wants. That is one cursing that I will gladly take on board. You cussing me out because I'm standing up against a pedophile just because he's your daddy? I hope you know I'm unbothered. I'm truly unbothered by that. He got every bit of what he deserved, and he should have gotten more. Right? Y'all saw the video. Y'all don't want to admit it, but y'all saw the video of what he was saying and doing to that little child. The little child, she was reserving constraint, saying, no, I don't want to do that. And he's begging her and playing with himself. He needed somebody to chop it off for him is what he needed to do. What he needed to have happen to him. Nasty old thing. And then his daughter all up in her feelings. I told the person, I said, she can be in her feelings all she wants. I don't actually care. You know what I'm saying? That's one that she can, that's Arrington Webster, 55 years old. Where is he these days anyway? He's still lurking around Cayman? Y'all better watch your children now. 13-year-old little girls he was going after. Big man, 55, and going after 13-year-old children. My God. He used every excuse in the book. He blamed his wife for giving him a drink that supposedly interfered with his ability to function. He claimed that he had taken grapefruit juice with his high blood pressure medication because apparently that makes you a predator. I'm like, what the hell? He claimed that the girl had somehow put him under a spell or drugged him. Y'all should still be beating this man just for his excuses alone. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Big time pastor up in church. Talking about youth pastor, youth groups, giving your children phones and, oh, I'll take your daughter out for ice cream. To hell you will. Over my dead body. I want ice cream too. Let's go for ice cream. Don't let these men have access to your children. And you got to be careful with a lot of the women too. Put some pictures up. Y'all don't remember this story? What? He's a coward. Go look him up. I wonder where he hiding out now. Because I think there was some sort of order put in place where he couldn't really be around children and stuff like that. You're probably right up in the church still. because y'all believe in forgiveness on another level. I mean, I know the Lord said to forgive people, but he never said you had to be stupid. Yeah, grapefruit juice. So he clean. So on that note, please be reminded that this man is still on the loose. Police not catch him all now. Alleged child predator. Molested and raped a 11-year-old child. This one in court. So commit these cases to memory, folks, because we still don't have a sex offender registry. So when they serve their time and they come out, they can still be lurking around Cayman. Although this one and this one should be deported after they're convicted and serve their time. There's no reason why we should be keeping any child predators in this country. Understand me clearly. We don't need any more here. Okay? Remember Atto Stevens? His so-called Caymanian wife fighting to keep him in Cayman. I was like, wow, you're not no good as a mother. Absolutely ridiculous. But y'all are part of the problem. I keep telling you, you all are part and parcel of the problem. Miss Irvlin says he would be in a coma. Trust me, still. Morning, Miss Sonia. Sue says so many pastors up in all kinds of things here. It's crazy. Russ sees and says, what should we do to the women? The same thing, honey child. There is no different in my book between a child predator just because they're a woman versus a man. In fact, I feel more aggrieved as a woman than another woman because, you know, the claims say that we're supposed to be maternal and whatever. We're supposed to look after people, children. I feel more aggrieved that a woman would actually do something because I can see how men are detached from children, you know. Some of them just don't care. They're not around children. They're whatever. They're missing something. But a mother who's supposed to have the motherly instinct doing something like this to somebody's child? Huh? Same thing. Jail sentence, quartered. Same thing. Burn at the stakes. If that was still legal, we should be doing that to these child predators. And I don't care whether they're man or woman, to be very, very clear. I've been outing one and she getting all up in her feelings after her relationship with a little boy that was underage at the time. And then somebody showed me her post where she was talking about, oh, my 7-year-old child is so ill-mannered and can't behave. I was like, first of all, what does that have to do with you going after people's children? Not a damn thing. But secondly, it's not true. She's 7, so I guess all 7-year-olds might, you know, on occasion not listen to a parent, but she's actually a very, very obedient little girl because I don't really play around with children like that. I mean, I come from a school of thought when I speak, you better be paying attention, you better be listening. Now, I'm not as strict as my aunt, so I'm not going to be beating her. However, when I speak, you're still going to listen. And you still have your manners. Yes, ma'am. And she knows when the tone of voice changes, what we talking. She knows what time it is then. So I don't even know why Shanano would mention my 7-year-old child, but that ain't got nothing to do with you and little boys, now does it? Deflection at its best. By the way, somebody sent me a video of Shanano's so-called forthright man. That she forthright because he wasn't really a man when she had him, and showed me a video of him with some other little girl engaging in sexual activity. And I said, you know, it just demonstrates once again that these people are so disgusting. They want to have the most to say about me, but their closets are, I mean, my closet not squeaky clean, but compared to them, my closet has the symbol of the angel above it because the stuff that they've done, they just need to sit down and shut up. That is their best bet. But they keep coming for me. And they have forced me to have an after session segment on their behind and show y'all the video and the whole shebang. And then y'all gonna see what we're really talking about. Y'all gonna see what time it is. But I'm over here being professional. Steven says, sounds like he was scammed. Sounds like he signed a document for the child, but was conned into signing land papers too, I think. Oh, honey child. Get a lawyer. Jayla says, that's why I stay home. Right? People need to stop bringing up children and own up to what dirt they're doing. Siobhan, trust me, I'm not bothered because I know she's trying to deflect from her hot mess of a life. And the fact that you have to use a 7-year-old to deflect says a lot about you. Like I said, some of y'all might have pushed out children, but you're not a real mother. We should be protecting everybody's child. All right, let's move on. This case now, I want to touch on this one briefly. This man jailed for threatening wife, appeals 6.5-year sentence. Ay. What a hot mess y'all are in. I keep telling you all to be careful who you marry. Do I not? I know I keep telling y'all. You keep marrying these no good people, these importees from all over kingdom come. So I am not surprised that this man was convicted, because some of them feel like they have a right to Cayman status. They have a right to residency. Now, most of them, I'll be honest with you, are not as bold, right, as to threaten you that they're going to kill you and whatever if they don't get their papers. Most of them not quite that bold. However, apparently, the caliber of what we're bringing in these days, bold, not even the word. I don't know what to say about them. They are something else. I mean, seriously, they are something else. Let me try and find this one. What's his name again? I just sit here and shake my head. I'm like, say what? No, sir. You think you have a right to you think you have a right to papers in Cayman? Under what? How does this make sense to me? This guy is Miko Gooden. Who is he? This man must be not got no sense. Found guilty of threatening his wife. Oh, if you don't give me Cayman papers, I'm gonna kill you. Really? I mean, I know y'all desperate to stay here, honey child. I'm well aware. Y'all desperate. But this is next level desperation. Stop picking up good for nothing people. Okay? Because when you do that, this is the foolishness that they go on with. Good for nothing. I mean, seriously. Now he's trying to appeal. He got 6.5 years. Peter Gooden's son. They say he's Peter Gooden's son. I don't think so, because why would he need papers? Doesn't Peter Gooden have papers long time, and then wouldn't his son have had papers? Hold on here now. Let me see if I can find this case. Hold on. Because I'm confused by this application. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can actually find the appeal. Because I'm a little bit confused by this. But anyway, he threatened to say he could come back from Jamaica on one of them boats and take her out. I know one thing. Ooh, honey child. Unbelievable. Let me see here now if I can find this one. Yikes. Y'all crazy. Cayman status got you going crazy. Crazy for you. Need my papers, honey child. If you're not going to give me my papers, I'm going to kill you. Say what? Oh, I wonder if this one is, hold on. I'm trying to find it. Where is this? Hold on. Consent order. Let me just ask Renee where the story actually is, because I suspect that maybe, I don't think that you wouldn't have the appeal. It has to be in the court list somewhere. Hold on a second. Let me see where this one is. Yeah, this whole story is quite shocking, to be honest. Now, no man gonna be coming here demanding no papers off of me. Y'all must be crazy. No, sir. Not today, Bobo. Not today. The proprietors. Oh, y'all suing everybody. Look here. Selvin, Nathaniel Richardson, and Louise Clarissa Burke Richardson. Oh, y'all getting a divorce? Christine Burke and her husband getting a divorce? What? Where my little friend Selvin? Oh, I see you showing up on papers. I never know you were getting a divorce. Oh my goodness, what a hot mess. Hello? Hey, this story with the guy appealing his sentence, the one wanting Cayman status, where is that? That's on the judicial website? Where you don't have access to the document? It's not there. Oh, it was in live court last week. Oh, okay. All right. No problem. I was trying to get some additional information on it, but okay. Thank you. Well, that's one I'm going to have to probably request the court file for. But what a hot mess. So he was in court last week. Lord have mercy. So he's a Jamaican man sentenced to 6.5 years in prison after he threatened to kill his ex-wife if she did not ensure that he got his papers to stay in the Cayman Islands. He's appealing his sentence. Miko Gooden also reportedly further threatened his ex-wife while he was locked up awaiting trial. This man's special, yo. He faced it. Wow. Wonder where she got him from. Anyway, Miko Gooden, is this him? Oh, no, he didn't. No, honey child. You're not out here bleaching your skin and got the nerves to talk. Oh, my God. You're kidding. Ooh, he looked kind of rough. Yeah, boy. Y'all can find him, though. I don't believe he related to Peter Gooden. I mean, I think Peter got some kind of better thing than this. I'm just saying. I don't know who he for, honey child, but he looked rough around the edges. Anyway, oh, okay. Oh, honey child. Okay, I see you there, son. Oh, my God. Wow. Oh, it's back in court tomorrow? Oh, I guess Renee, she better pay attention to that one. I wonder if that's going to be in the Zoom link. Okay, honey child, that one's a hot mess, and then some. Anyway, yes, sir. This is where it's at. Anyway, he threatened the ex-wife, say he needed his Cayman papers. When he appeared in court last week, his lawyer, Keith Myers, poor Keith, said the sentence was excessive, and so that some factors that the magistrate considered aggravating should not have been deemed so. He said the victim's impact statement should not have been used to increase the sentence, as there's no evidence to back up some of what was stated. He was already found guilty. And that don't make no sense, Keith. That don't make no sense. Gooden pled guilty to the charge of threats to kill while his trial was underway in 2022, after his wife had given evidence. He was also sentenced for misuse of an ICT network to abuse, annoy, or harass, and for causing fear, provocation, or violence in relation to a phone call from prison to further threaten her. Lord Jesus. Gooden reportedly told his ex-wife that if she didn't sort out his papers to ensure he could stay in Cayman, he would kill her. He also told her that it'd be easy to get a boat from Jamaica back to Cayman to kill her and her boyfriend. So Cheryl Richards is expected to make a ruling on the appeal tomorrow, the March the 28th. Okay. So we shall have that tomorrow. Somebody said WTF. What? Yes, sir. Yeah, okay. Okay. Hot mess. All right. Well, we'll update y'all on what she comes back with. Hopefully that there's a deportation order in place. CBC, y'all paying attention? I'm just saying. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hello.
Pretty in that what you just talking on Facebook, ma'am. I would like to ask you and ask the immigration department, if you married an expat, right, and you cancel out color papers, and then you want to kick her off the island, but the immigration say that you can't kick her off. I want to say this, right? Under which immigration law say that I can remove my wife off the island? Under which law?
Well, you don't have the right to remove her. CBC has the right to remove her.
What?
Yeah.
You see that again, ma'am?
Yes, I'm saying that you don't have the power or the right to have anybody removed from Cayman. That is a power of CBC, Border Control. So you might be able to write to them and say we're no longer.
Under which law, ma'am? Under which law? I'm dealing with the law here.
Yeah, well,
under which law said I can't?
Well, which law says you can?
Yeah, under which law? I don't see that under the immigration law, ma'am.
Well, there's no law that says you can. Those powers are reserved for CBC. So CBC has the power to protect our borders and has the power to remove people from our country. And so that is a matter for them. So you can write in. I mean, there are certain things, like, for example, if you're married to expat and you're no longer married to them and you no longer have, even if you're not even, you're still married, but you no longer have a good relationship, you're supposed to notify WRC of this. And then I guess they'll tell CBC, Border Control. But, there are certain things, depending on what your relationship is with the spouse or whatever, there are certain obligations on you. And if you notify...
Under the CBC law, ma'am, which law? I'm asking you, ma'am. Or ask them which law states it. I don't see it on Cayman law, not under the immigration law or the CBC law, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to call somebody who can answer the question for you. Just keep listening.
I am dealing with the laws of the Cayman Islands, ma'am.
Give me a second. We're gonna call a person who will be able to answer the question.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, no problem. All right, so it's a good question, and maybe some of you are under the mistaken belief that you can remove someone from this country because you're married to them. So the person that I think best suited to answer this question would be none other than ding, 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 Mr. Franz Manderson. Let's call Mr. Franz this morning. Hopefully he's not in a meeting, because he is well-versed as a former head of immigration. He would know the law in this regard. Let's see. And he's actually going to answer the phone. Some of the others might know the law, but they're not going to answer the phone. I wonder if we can get Mr. Clifford on the phone or Mr. Jeremy. All right, France might be tied up this morning. Okay. Let's try Jeremy. He is, after all, head of CBC. Jeremy Scott. Okay, let's see if we can reach him. Let's try. Yeah, I think Border Control is CBC, but this would be a matter for WORC. And then CBC might do the removal. The agencies, splitting the agencies for me is kind of like weird the way that they've done it, but because some aspects of it you're still not sure. I don't think he hasn't taken over yet. Somebody said Bruce is in charge, but I don't think he's actually taken over yet. Mr. Clifford is still there. So none of them are answering this morning, Joe. But we can certainly get the law clarified for you. I don't know. I'm trying to think of any immigration lawyers. Anybody has Nick's number? Nick Joseph? He'll be able to tell you. He can answer this. So we do know Mr. Clifford is retiring, but I don't think he's retired yet. I think soon come, like maybe, is it sometime later this year? Sure, can't reach nobody yet today. Oh, anybody has Nick's number? He's an immigration attorney. He'd be able to know. Nick Joseph, anybody has his number? Anyway, I feel confident in saying that you don't have that power. Nothing in the law. Somebody says call OC. Isn't OC on air right now? What time does OC show go until? No, man, he's hosting his show. He has 23 people watching him. Yeah. Okay. Debbie said call OC. Back in the day, enough women used to do that because it's not easy as it was one time. People were abusing the system to have people kicked off the island. Well, they could complain to the relevant agencies. Somebody say, ask a certain person, family to you. She kicks her husband's off all the time after the divorce. I'm aware, honey child, but we're not even calling that person's name anymore. Nope, we're definitely not calling her. Police dealing with her. Leave that alone. Regarding the gentleman's query, Miss Sandra, here's somebody who's stepping forward. Regarding the gentleman's query, he has no right to legally remove his wife. They can be divorced and she can get a work permit. Once there's no infraction with her being on a work permit, she's good. If there is any infraction, the immigration board can revoke it and give her an extension to depart. Yeah, she doesn't. She definitely. Yeah, she doesn't have. Yeah, none of y'all have the right. I'm not sure why y'all confused. So, okay. He is off air now. The show just ended, said live. I think the caller means that WRC does not action this no matter if you choose to have the spouse removed. Again, it's not your option. I mean, you can write a letter about why you don't think the person perhaps should be able to stay here. What I'm going to say to y'all is stop marrying people undeserving of being here in the first place. You know, that could save you a whole lot of headache in the long run. Rough Sea says, sounds like my guy is getting enough bun and he got to get her off island because jealousy consumes him and something bad might happen. You can hear it in his voice. What a hot mess. Anywho, I don't know. But I know for a fact that y'all don't have that kind of power. Okay? No, you don't. No, Bobo. All right, stop giving away our birthright. Yep. For marriages of convenience for people who have nothing to offer you. That's the worst part. Lord Jesus. Oh, let me read some other comments here. I hope they deport him after he serves his time. Stop giving away her birthright. He's sick. This person says, if this lady has a Caymanian child, she can stay under those circumstances. Well, he said a child not for him either. Although the DNA test says it is. By the way, I've gotten confirmation. The HSA can now do DNA tests on island. So you can find out quick if that baby is for you or not. Hello.
Hello, Sandy.
Hi, honey child. Not bad. How are you?
Topic. Anyway, I was looking through the NBC New York segment. This was on the news where a Texas man changes his name to literally anybody else to run for president of the United States.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And he was legally changed his name.
One second for me, honey child. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Oh, that's so nice of you, Bobo, to call me. But I was just testing the online chat. This is Sandra. We had your customer service manager on air, and I just wanted to check it and see really how long y'all took to call back. So I really appreciate that. That was good timing. But I don't actually need anything. I was just testing it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. CUC. All right, dear. Bye-bye. So look at that. I used the chat feature this morning when our first guest was on, and CUC called me back already. Mess with them. Yes, sir. I heard the joke.
CUC is so good, but people put some down when they lose electricity. But when Hurricane Ivan was on,
oh yeah, we appreciated them then.
Oh my God, yeah. I went into a donut shop and said to the cashier, "I'd like to buy a muffin with chocolate chips." And the cashier replied, "Sorry, we only take cash."
All right, that's your last joke of the day. Thank you, Mr.
No, just one more. This one's going to be easy.
You're using up all your jokes. Save it for another day.
Okay. I was riding my donkey the other day, and someone threw a rock at me, and I fell off. And I had the biggest laugh. I was thrown off my ass.
Oh, geez, I'm peace. Language, Mr. Dexter. On that note, have a good one.
Okay. Bye.
Good morning. As a JP that signs documents every week, I have seen and heard of such fraudulent NAN transfers. Not sure of the details of this one or if he is literate, but some people are doing is getting persons or family members to sign the transfers, and they don't understand what they're doing. And that's why it's the responsibility of the JP and the notary to ask questions. You can't just blindly sign something. This person goes on to say, I only sign transfers at the government building when I can verify the details. Some JPs don't do their due diligence. Sad for this guy. What a hot mess. Yeah, you've got to ask questions. So what, even if you're doing something in relation to will, do you know what it is that you're signing? Do you understand? And you talk to the person, ask them their name, the date, talk to them, have a conversation with the individual to make sure that they are lucid. In other words, they don't have dementia, they don't have memory loss and all those kind of things. And they don't even know why they're there. Because some people drag in these little old people and it's like, oh, sign this document. No. Let's ask some questions first. Siobhan says, oh my God, the jokes aren't even funny. Siobhan not appreciating the jokes, Mr. Dexter. Everton says, can I say something? It seems like it's such a big problem with people getting married, someone from your country, where it's a male or female. Why not give them the opportunity to live and work as long as they want to for a period of time without getting that paper, just approve it if they are there for marriage convenience or if they want to be with that person that they get married to, because it seems like it's a big problem that you guys have, and we have the same problem here. Well, Everton, they have the option to never get married. So you can get a work permit. But the difference is with marriage comes the benefits of certain things like not needing a work permit. So you can work for whoever you want. You have the freedom to work in different places, and you eventually will get Cayman status, which means that you can not work at all. You can run your own business. So the truth of the matter is there are a lot of additional benefits. It's just like people who want U.S. residency that puts them on the path to citizenship. So there always is the option to just be in a work permit. You don't have to get married. But the more lucrative option for people looking to take advantage of a situation is to get married. So that's why they're doing it. I mean, I don't think we need to change anything in terms of the law, you know, where that is concerned. That's not going to resolve anything, unfortunately. Oh, God, Mr. Dexter, people are not liking your jokes. This person says, good Lord, I have to change my radio every time he comes on. Mr. Dexter, sometimes less is more with the jokes. I'm just saying. Another person says, ban him with his jokes. Oh, my God. No, sir. They said ban the jokes, not ban you, but ban the jokes. Honey child, less is more. I keep telling y'all, less is more. Mm-hmm. All right, here's what another person had to say about the whole marriage situation. They said, so the same thing happened with me and my first husband. I wrote in on him and he applied off of our son, but we weren't married when I had my son. So he had to do a DNA test to carry to works, to WRC, to get continuation of rights to work. And I said, well, did he get it? They said, yes, I think until our son turns 18. Gonna check that out though, because I never inquired about what will happen when my son turns 18. And he also has to show WRC that he's paying maintenance. Oh, that's good. That is very good. So he gets to keep his, so he doesn't, he's not on a work permit. So he gets to keep his residency with a right to work, the RERC. That's interesting. Well, I guess on the one hand, that is one way to ensure that at the very least he is paying for his child and not leaving yet another Caymanian woman on the hook with a deadbeat baby daddy. Because you know, if you deport him, he definitely not gonna be paying that. All right, let me talk briefly about this accident yesterday. I cannot believe the accusation is that these two cars were racing on the Linford Pearson Highway in the afternoon. I got a call from an eyewitness who saw it happen and that one of the cars lost control and basically mowed these two workers down. I understand that the men were there working on the road. They work for Island Paving. I'm so sorry to hear that this happened to them. And, you know, I think that without any fear of contradiction, that these horrific drivers need to start having the book thrown at them. These men could have easily been killed. So I'm very, very curious to know who was racing, who these people are, so we can put them on full blast, because y'all need to stop the foolishness. The amount of accidents and the seriousness of the accidents that we have in Cayman is beyond ridiculous. What on earth? Seriously. Come on now. Get it together. I saw the pictures of the car being taken away, and this car is all mashed up. Y'all almost killed two people. When we find out who they are, we'll talk more about it. Paul Rough Seas says, I got married because I thought I was in love. That bit me in my backside hard. # never again. Well, it's not for everybody, honey child. And sometimes you got to do it a couple times before you find the right person, is what I'm told. You have to keep looking, keep getting married. Your prince will eventually show up. Lord Jesus. Siobhan says they always use that road to race. It's disgusting. Plus all hours of the night as well. And you can hear them way up the road. They need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, says Diamond Princess. My concern is the full extent of the law isn't going to be enough. It probably is like, 2 months in jail. The law needs to be changed to really give it some serious teeth. Jay's Gaming says too much racing on the small roads, too much accidents on this small island. And on that note, couldn't agree with you anymore. But look at that. It's now 10:30. Showtime is over. Y'all behave yourselves. Be good. And tomorrow is what? Thursday. It's the last day of the week. So we'll talk a little bit tomorrow about... yes, get your dash cam cameras. Thanks, Debbie, for the reminder. We'll talk a little bit tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit tomorrow about Easter and all the things coming up for the weekend. All right, y'all be good. Have a good one. Honey, chill.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.